Chapter 1208. Shiyun was really grateful to Lin Rei. She swore in her heart that she would stay by Lin Rei's side for the rest of her life and serve him wholeheartedly. As for Qiong Wang, he left after chatting with Lin Rei for a while. Of course, he had achieved his goal of befriending Lin Rei. As for whether Lin Rei wanted to befriend him or not, that was his business. He felt that Qiong Wang was a person with deep thoughts and was not a person to be met easily. After Qiong Wang left, Lin Rei breathed a sigh of relief. Seeing that there were no major problems in the store, he couldn't help but walk towards his room. Shiyun, guard outside. Before I come out, no one is allowed to enter. Do you understand? There was no other reason. After receiving the news that he had leveled up, he couldn't help himself. If it weren't for the fact that someone was there, he would have directly added that level of experience to himself. Understood, Shiyun replied. Dong. After the door closed, Lin Rei went to the bed and sat cross-legged. He communicated with the storage space of the system with his divine sense. Looking at the two talisman-like things, he was stunned. With a thought, two pieces of paper floated in front of Lin Rei. F***CK, this is, experience and exchange points. Lin Rei wasn't sure. However, looking at this operation, he felt that it was a bit too sloppy. It wasn't a bit, it was really too sloppy. Lin Rei already felt that the two pieces of paper were too shabby. Who knew that the moment the two pieces of paper were turned over, Lin Rei would be stunned on the spot. He saw that on the two pieces of paper, one was the experience points, and the other was the 3 million exchange points. Looking at these two sloppy and unsightly things, Lin Li had the urge to pull out the system and give it a good beating. The system said, "Host, it's already very good to have these things. Remember, it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. It's better to let you cultivate on your own." Seeing Lin Rei's stunned expression, the system couldn't help but continue, "Don't forget, you still owe the system a lot of money. Now that you have 3 million, you should thank the heavens. No matter how small a fly is, it's still meat. It's better than not having me around. If I were you, I wouldn't care so much. I would just crush them and make myself stronger." Lin Rei, he understood what the system said, but looking at the two pieces of paper, he felt a little strange. Moreover, wasn't there a saying that the system's products must be of the highest quality? What was happening now? When did the system slack off? Looking at the two pieces of paper in front of him, Lin Rei grumbled in his heart for a long time. Finally, he calmed down and reached out to grab the paper containing the experience points in his hand. Suddenly, the paper was torn apart. Boom! Suddenly, a surge of pure holy spiritual energy entered Lin Li's body through his hand as soon as the paper was torn to shreds. Feeling the pure saint spiritual chi, Lin Rei could not wait to use his inner vision to check his cultivation base, which had stagnated for a long time. He was looking for an indescribable speed to level up. Lin Rei felt an indescribable sense of comfort as the Holy Spirit chi washed over him, opening all the pores on his body. Lin Rei thoroughly enjoyed this moment. If I can bathe in this rich Holy Spirit chi, I won't have to worry about not being able to break through. The system sneered, "Host, you're dreaming. This level of Holy Spirit chi, not to mention that it doesn't exist, even if it does, it's not something you can have at your level. As the saying goes, if you're too beautiful, don't dream too much. Well, your dream isn't that great either. Why is it always better than daydreaming?" The system's heartless words made Lin Rei completely speechless. Lin Rei could not accept the system's current changes. The change was too big. It was like a chatterbox. Moreover, the degree of sarcasm was almost on par with the little dragon. "Little dragon, damn you, when did I have a sarcastic mouth? Didn't I say that to motivate you before?" Without responding to the system, he closed his eyes and quietly felt the pleasure of leveling up brought by the rich Holy Spirit chi. This is. Just as Lin Rei was breaking through, Hong Yun and the others who were cultivating abruptly opened their eyes. Their gazes locked onto Lin Rei's room as their eyes were filled with astonishment. Sect leader broke through, he broke through. Yes, that's right. Lin Rei was breaking through, and as the ones closest to him, they could naturally sense it. This was especially so for Lin Firen, who was also at the Saint Realm. When he saw Lin Rei's room, his heart was filled with shock. Before this, during the battle, he could only sense that Lin Rei had just entered the Saint Realm. But now, in just a few days, his cultivation base had already broken through. Lin Xian'er was the same as well. However, the difference was that she was extremely happy when Lin Rei broke through. As his daughter, how could she not wish for her father to become stronger? And all of this, Lin Rei didn't know. Because of his breakthrough, Hong Yun and the others felt even more motivated to break through as well. In the room, around the bed, Lin Rei was currently enveloped by the Holy Spirit Qi. As he stretched his body out, Lin Rei's face relaxed. The coldness on his face was gone, replaced by a comfortable expression. Within his body, there was something similar to a demonic beast's core. His nostrils were constantly expanding, and the speed of this expansion was getting faster and faster. The Holy Spirit core was the symbol of becoming a saint. Only by possessing the Holy Spirit core would one be able to prove that one was a saint. In a cave in the back mountains of the Radiant Sun Sect, Hong Lian and Ming Ming stood in front of a white jade-colored fruit tree. Their gazes were locked onto the tree with a dazed expression on their faces. Damn, after such a long time, all we found was a tree? In the cave, the two of them encountered many formations and dangerous situations. After a long period of exploration, they thought that there would be a glimmer of hope at the end of the tunnel. Who would have thought that? The last thing they found was this strange-looking white jade-colored tree. Looking at the tree, Hong Lian's mouth twitched. With a dazed expression, she smiled and said, "It's fine. Just take it as an experience. After all, there's nothing much to do in the sect. Weren't the dangers we encountered previously quite exciting as well?" Hong Lian felt like crying when she thought of what they encountered in the cave. Illusory realms, killing formations, trapping formations, demonic beasts, sacred beasts, everything they could think of. Although this trip was easy, they did not expect to arrive at this place. It took them a long time to escape from it. If the two of them did not have the strength of a saint, they would have died in the illusory realms as soon as they entered the cave. Although they did not want to agree with what Hong Lian said, she was right. It was indeed as she said. Then, how do we deal with this thing? Ming Ming pointed at the white jade-colored tree. As the saying goes, a thief does not leave empty-handed. After putting in so much effort to get here, it was impossible for them to return empty-handed. TSK. Looking at the white jade-colored tree, Hong Lian pondered for a moment and said, "I have. Although I don't know what this thing is, since there are so many things blocking the passage, it should be something good. Let's move it first. As for the details, we will wait for the sect master to return before deciding." Okay. The two of them agreed and walked toward the white jade-colored tree. They circulated their cultivation and looked like they had to act tough. Pfft! As the two of them slowly walked toward the white jade-colored tree, the ground began to tremble. The sound of earth breaking came from behind them. A root similar to the white jade-colored tree rushed out and turned into a spear, aiming at their backs. The speed was so fast that it carried the force of a thunderbolt. It came so suddenly that it was impossible for the two to guard against it. "Not good, retreat." Feeling the chill from behind, Ming Ming shouted and rushed to the side. As for Hong Lian, it was obvious that she was slow to react. After Ming Ming escaped, she came back to her senses. However, for Hong Lian, who had a Dao fruit at the peak of the Saint Realm, even if she was slow to react, she still managed to dodge the fatal attack. Feeling the cold intent approaching, he rolled to the side, barely dodging it. At such a critical moment, posture, elegance, nothing was important. The most important thing was her own life. If she lost her life, she would lose everything. At that time, so what if she was elegant? So what if she had dignity and posture? Everything was nonsense. Pft, pft. However, the two of them dodged, but the matter did not end there. The moment they dodged, two more earth-shattering sounds could be heard. At the place where the two of them landed, the white jade tree roots once again burst out from the ground, aiming at the two of them from bottom to top. It was faster than before. If they were hit, the two of them would definitely have their intestines lengthened and their hearts would be pierced. Bastard. Feeling the cold daze, Ming Ming was furious. He took out his long sword and slashed at the white jade-colored tree root. Clang. The sound of weapons colliding rang through the air. What? Seeing that the tree root was not cut by him, Ming Ming's expression changed. He warned Hong Lian in the distance, dodge. Weapons are useless against them. Pfft. It was too late. As soon as Ming Ming warned, the tree root rushed to Hong Lian. If not for her strong cultivation, she would have dodged to the side and the tree root would have pierced her arm. If she had been a moment slower, she would have been pierced. Whoosh! His figure disappeared. In the blink of an eye, he was in front of Hong Lian. He reached out and hugged her, then flashed again and retreated far away. Pfft! 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 More than a dozen white jade-colored tree roots broke through the ground and formed a tree wall, separating the two of them from the white jade-colored tree. Helpless, in the end, Ming Ming brought Hong Lian to the edge of the exit before stopping. Are you okay? He stopped and looked at Hong Lian with concern. Hong Lian was his companion and comrade. If he lost such a strong comrade in such a place, there was only one outcome for him, death. Especially in front of this thing that he did not want to know. He did not expect the other party to be so fast. Moreover, the tree root was so tough that even a supreme-grade divine artifact could not do anything to it. It did not even leave a mark. I'm fine. Hong Lian frowned. Feeling the pain from her arm, she replied. She looked up at the tree root blocking her way, and her expression turned ugly. The two great perfection Tao fruit saints were helpless against these tree roots. Moreover, the other party had clearly held back. Otherwise, the only thing that awaited them would be the tree roots piercing through their bodies, and they would die without a complete corpse. What she didn't understand was what this unremarkable white jade tree was. It was so powerful that they didn't even have the slightest ability to resist it. If the sect master of the sacred world saw this white jade-colored tree, he would definitely recognize it and would not even be willing to stay. He would turn around and leave. In the sacred world, this kind of tree was restricted. There was no other reason but because it was too powerful. It was so powerful that they could not subdue it. The devil tree, one of the natural spiritual roots. Of course, this kind of tree is naturally murderous. They will not hesitate to kill those who enter their territory. The devil tree could reach the heavens when it matured. Clearly, this devil tree had not yet matured. It was still a sapling. It was also because of this that the two of them could escape from the devil tree's claws. Otherwise, what do we do? Should we inform the sect master? Hong Lian asked after glancing at the devil tree. She could not do anything about this tree. Even if the two of them worked together, they would not be able to defeat it. Ming Ming had experienced the strength of the devil tree, but he had to inform the sect master. He had reservations about this matter. Let's not. Let's leave first. As for this thing, let's use a formation to hide it first. We will go back and check the records of the sacred world's demonic beasts. If we can deal with it, why bother the sect master? The sect master is in the Azure Xian Empire now. It is very far away. It will take too much time to go back and forth. The sect master has his own things to do. Let's not bother him with such a small matter. All right. Hong Lian nodded. She thought it was a heavenly treasure. She did not expect it to be a tree. She thought she could bring it back as a decoration. She did not expect that the other party's cultivation would make them helpless. Let's go. As he spoke, he held Hong Lian's hand and walked out. This time, the two of them were defeated. Lin Rei, who was in the Azure Xian Empire far away from the imperial capital, did not know what happened to the two of them. Boom! Inside the room, a surge of Saint Spirit Chi vibrated, and the pressure instantly rushed out in all directions. Breakthrough! Breakthrough! In the Nine Heavens shop, Hong Yun and the others felt the aura and said to themselves. In the room, feeling the power in his body, his face was full of smiles. I finally broke through. The saint's spiritual core in his body was only the size of a baby's fist. Now, it had grown to the size of an adult's fist. Lin Rei was very satisfied. Although a mid-stage Dao fruit saint had only advanced by a small stage, he knew better than anyone that it was very difficult to break through. The system said, others need 100 times, 1,000 times, or even 10,000 times the time you need to break through a stage. You, on the other hand, find it slow. Why? Do you think it is normal if you directly ride a rocket and reach the peak of Dao in the blink of an eye? The system's merciless attack made Lin Rei want to die. Previously, it was the little dragon. Now that the little dragon was not here, the system perfectly accepted the role of the little dragon. System, what's wrong with you? Why did it suddenly become like this? Lin Rei asked. He really could not see the changes in the system. Now, he would rather the system become the silent system that could not say anything for half a day. Host, because of the saint's spiritual chi, the system is on the verge of upgrading. Host, please continue to work hard. Oh, right, the system will upgrade again and break through the current stage to enter the king stage. I hope the host will work hard in the future. No, king stage. No. Aren't you only at level 1 to level 2? Why is there another king stage expert? Chapter 1209. Didn't you receive the holy spiritual aura before? Also, the system hesitated and continued, previously, it was in the initial state, so there were many things that the system was not fully activated, so, the system expressed its helplessness. Damn it. Lin Rei did not want to say anything. Previously, he thought that the system had reached the highest level. Now that there was a king stage system, Lin Rei felt like he had fallen into a deep pit. The system said indifferently, don't worry, the system has improved. This means that the host's level will also increase. Don't be discouraged, the system's speed of improvement is also very fast. See, it's only been 4,000 years and you've risen from level 1 to level 5. Don't worry, it'll be very fast. Relax. Lin Rei was speechless. Lin Rei was helpless, but he did not continue. After all, he had already walked this path, and it was too late to turn back. Now, he could only walk this single plank bridge to the end. He had no other choice. Moreover, he also needed to increase his level. Otherwise, the system's mission would be very difficult to complete, alright. After saying that, Lin Li exited the system chat. He collected his thoughts, withdrew his techniques, and withdrew his cultivation. His tightly shut eyes suddenly opened, and a bright light flashed through them. His gaze was extremely sharp. Now that my level has increased, the things here are basically done. Looks like it's time to leave and go somewhere else. Thinking of this, he stood up, tidied up his messy clothes, and pushed the door open. The wind was gentle and the sun was bright. There were no clouds in the sky, and the sun was hanging high in the sky. The dazzling sunlight shone on Lin Rei's face, making Lin Rei feel uncomfortable. Sigh. How time flies. Opening his eyes, he looked at his surroundings. He had only been here for a few months, and now he had to leave, which made him feel uneasy. Forget it, it's better to improve the disciples' cultivation as soon as possible. That's the most important thing. With cultivation, these worries will not exist. After thinking it through, he stepped forward and disappeared instantly. When he reappeared, he was in front of the shop in the front yard. At this moment, the shop was empty, with 2 or 3 customers shopping. It was not as lively as when it first opened. Boss. Stepping into the shop, Lin Feng, who was at the counter, saw Lin Rei and hurried over. He bowed respectfully. Yes. Go about your business. Yes. After Lin Feng left, Lin Rei sat down and communicated with the 20 disciples who were cultivating in seclusion. He said indifferently, "All right, stop cultivating in seclusion. We will depart today. After we find the blessed land, you can all cultivate in seclusion to break through." Whoosh whoosh whoosh, just as Lin Rei finished speaking, the 20 pairs of eyes in the room of the 20 disciples suddenly opened at the same time. Their sharp gazes seemed to penetrate through the ages. They stood up and shot out. In less than 3 breaths, 20 figures appeared in front of Lin Rei in an orderly manner. "Boss." Their voices were loud and clear, and their eyes were filled with respect. If that's the case, then let's go." Looking at the 20 elites of the Xuanzong sect before him, Lin Rei felt extremely gratified. "Lin Firen, I will be away for about 2 years. Look after this shop well for the next 2 years. As for the goods, don't buy any more medicine. Let them have a good rest. I will make other arrangements after this lord returns 2 years later." "Yes, boss." In the room in the backyard, when Lin Firen heard Lin Rei's words, he abruptly stood up from his bed and faced the shop with a solemn expression on his face. After everything was arranged properly, he glanced at the shop and waved his hands to disperse the crowd, instructing the 20 disciples to follow him in the shadows. At this moment, Lin Xian'er walked into the shop and came to the side of Lin Rei. Beside her, Shiyun followed by her left and right. This caused Lin Xian'er to be extremely unhappy. "Father, why does she have to follow you?" Lin Xian'er was extremely uncomfortable with Lin Rei's arrangement. Initially, she thought that she could go out and play. Who would have known that he would bring this woman along? This caused her, as his daughter, to be extremely worried for her father. She was even more worried that this woman would become her little mother. "Xian'er, in the immortal world, this lowly one is the serving girl of boss. I naturally have to follow by his side." Before Lin Rei spoke, Shiyun spoke first. "You," staring at this woman, Xian'er's eyes widened. She turned her head and stared at her father with her watery eyes. "Father, look, she." "Enough, Xian'er." Seeing his daughter acting like this, Lin Rei directly interrupted her. "The purpose of this trip is to raise the strength of your subordinates. Time is tight and the mission is important. Can you stop wasting time on this matter? In addition, you are already an adult. Don't you know what's more important?" As the sound of his voice faded, Lin Rei instantly regretted. Xian'er, when we reach the place, Father will personally explain everything to you. How about this, when we reach the place, Father will capture an extremely powerful saint-tier demonic beast for you to use as a mount. How about that?" Lin Rei's words were actually transmitted through voice transmission. After all, he was speaking in front of outsiders. As the sect leader of the Xuanzong sect, he still had to take his face into consideration. All right, you are the one who said it." In the end, under the condition that the conditions were still acceptable, Lin Xian'er agreed to temporarily put this matter aside. However, her gaze never left Shiyun. She was constantly on her guard. It was as though as long as her eyes moved, something indescribable would happen between the two of them. "Oh, right." All of a sudden, Lin Xian'er exclaimed. "Father, not long after you entered seclusion, a man named Lin Lingshuan came and said he was looking for you." Lin Lingshuan? Upon hearing this name, the young man he met in the Spirit Smoke Pavilion appeared in his mind. Did he say he was looking for me for something? He looked at Xian'er and asked. He remembered that this person's identity wasn't simple. It was just that, there was something wrong. However, he couldn't pinpoint exactly what the problem was. He didn't say. Lin Xian'er shook her head. All right. It's fine, it's just an unimportant person. With a wave of his hand, he tossed the matter to the back of his mind. After which, he walked out of the store and left the Xianyuan Empire. The Heaven Yuan sect was a second-tier power. There were 2 Dao fruit saints in the sect and the rest were all at the God Emperor, Paragon, and God Monarch realm. The majority were below the God Monarch realm. God Emperors and Paragons all had high positions in the sect. He heard about this sect from Lin Rei. Back then when the disciples were in seclusion, he had already instructed Lin Xian to investigate. Initially, there were over 10 sects, but in the end, Lin Rei still chose the Heaven Yuan sect. There was no other reason other than the fact that this sect was located in a remote location and it was said that there was a Xiantian dragon vein under this sect. Naturally, this was merely hearsay. As for whether they would test it out or not, they had yet to verify it. And at this moment, the members of the Xuanzong sect didn't know that their sect was about to face the greatest tribulation in their lives. To them, Lin Rei was this tribulation. Chapter 12:10. Lin Lengxuan stood in front of the entrance of Nine Heavens shop. Looking at the signboard of Nine Heavens shop, he sighed in his heart. Nine Heavens, a name that is similar to that shop. Are the 2 shops related? A small shop like this is actually able to sell saint-tier pills, weapons, and talismans. How many supreme experts are there in this shop? The 3 guilds are unable to find any information about such a powerful expert. It seems like Lin Rei isn't a simple person. If Lin Rei were here, he would definitely burst out laughing if he heard Lin Lengxuan's words. 3 guilds? Little brother, you might be overthinking things. If you were in the divine world or the immortal world, you might be able to find something. But in the holy world, even if you were to search through the heavens, you wouldn't be able to find any information about me in the 3 guilds. Of course, this was only possible if Lin Rei could hear it. After all, he had a lot of similarities with Lin Lengxuan in his heart. Walking into the shop assistant who had been waiting outside saw Lin Lengxuan's arrival. With a face full of smiles, he walked up to Lin Lengxuan and said respectfully, "Young master, may I know what you would like to buy? We have pills, weapons, and talismans here. We have everything you need. Divine, 1st grade, and 2nd grade saint-tier pills as well. What do you want? I will bring you there." Lin Lengxuan was taken aback by the shop assistant's enthusiasm. Thinking back, the attitude of the girl he met before was very different from before. No, it was like 2 extremes. One was cold and indifferent while the other was the current Lin Dian. If Lin Lengxuan knew that the person who met him before was Lin Xian, the young miss of Nine Heavens shop, he wouldn't think so. "Young master?" Seeing that Lin Lengxuan wasn't replying, Lin Dian asked, "Young master, are you all right?" I'm fine." Regaining his senses, Lin Lengxuan scanned the surroundings. Not seeing Lin Rei, he asked, "May I know if your boss is here? Tell him that Lin Lengxuan wishes to meet him." I'm sorry, my boss has already left. As for when he will be back, I can't say for sure." Before Lin Lengxuan could finish his words, Lin Dian spoke the truth. "What? He left?" Lin Lengxuan was dumbfounded. Wasn't he just gone for a while? Why did he leave? He still had many doubts in his heart. He wanted to get in touch with Lin Rei to resolve them. Now that the other party had left, then, well, where did your boss go? If it's possible, I would like to pay him a visit in person. Hearing this, Lin Dian frowned slightly. Then, he relaxed and said, "Young master, how would I know where the boss is? Even if the boss went out, he wouldn't tell us." Looking at Lin Dian's serious expression, Lin Lengxuan understood that Lin Dian really didn't know. Lin Rei, who was far away, didn't know that not long after he left, Lin Lengxuan went to find him. At this moment, Lin Rei was in Tianyuan mountain range. The Tianyuan mountain range was where the Tianyuan sect was located. It was a naturally formed mountain range with dense spiritual energy. In front of the Xuanzong sect's mountain gate, Lin Rei and his group stood still. Their gazes locked onto the two gatekeepers, and a smile appeared on their faces. Tianyuan Sect. Not bad. The location is not bad. The saint's spiritual energy here is also very dense. If we cultivate here for 2 years, with the help of pills and other cultivation methods, we should be able to break through to the saint realm. Previously, Lin Rei only thought that there might be a dragon vein here. Now that he saw the Tianyuan sect in the real world, he felt that this place was really good. Sect Master, should I? No need. Lin Rei raised his hand to stop him. As the saying went, courtesy demands reciprocity. Now that they had just arrived, it would be better to talk things over. After all, it wouldn't be good to make things too awkward. Besides, he didn't want to use force. Yes. After replying, he returned to his original spot and didn't say anything else. When Lin Rei arrived, the gatekeepers saw Lin Rei and his group. However, they didn't approach them, so the two didn't do anything. Lin Rei moved and stopped Hong Yun. He walked up to the two gatekeepers and cupped his fists. Fellow Taoists, I am Lin Rei. I am here to visit the sect. May I know if you can inform your sect master? Visit the sect? Looking at Lin Rei and the people behind Lin Rei, the gatekeepers pondered for a moment and nodded. All right, please wait for a moment. All right, thank you. After the gatekeepers left, Lin Rei stood still and began to observe them. Lin Rei was still very surprised by the two gatekeepers. After all, some sects weren't so easy to talk to. From their actions, Lin Rei could tell that they were very honest and didn't have any trace of deceit. They also didn't act arrogantly just because they were disciples of a sect. In the Tianyuan sect's main hall, the gatekeepers hurried over and bowed to the mysterious Sky Taoist. Sect Master, there is someone who claims to be visiting the sect. He is Lin Rei. There are 22 people behind him. I wonder who they are. The voice suddenly stopped as he believed that the mysterious Sky Taoist would understand what he was about to say. Lin Rei? Visiting the sect? Hearing this, the mysterious Sky Taoist was stunned. He looked at the 7 people around him and said calmly, what do you think about his cultivation? Sect Master, since someone is visiting the sect, let's invite him in. Yeah, Sect Master. After all, it's impolite to let a guest wait outside. I agree with third senior brother. Let him in. All 7 of them agreed that Lin Rei was visiting the sect and wanted to let him in. Since that's the case, let him in. Since everyone agreed, the mysterious Sky Taoist naturally agreed as well. Moreover, he felt that the 7 people's words made sense. Since he was a guest from afar, it wouldn't be good to avoid meeting him. Go, bring him in. The mysterious Sky Taoist said. Hearing this, the gatekeepers nodded and turned to leave. Lin Rei, who had been waiting in front of the sect for a long time, looked inside the sect. Suddenly, the gatekeepers appeared in his field of vision. What do you think? This. Young Master Lin, our sect master, agrees to visit the sect. He cupped his hands and continued, let's go, I will bring you in. As he spoke, he gestured for Lin Rei to enter. Then, he stepped forward and brought Lin Rei in. In the main hall, everyone was puzzled by the sudden arrival of Lin Rei, a stranger. None of them had heard of the name Lin Rei before. Now that he had suddenly visited the sect, no one knew what would happen. After a while, the gatekeepers who had left brought Lin Rei and the other 23 people in. Then, they took the initiative to leave. Looking at the 23 people below, the mysterious Sky Taoist got up and walked down the stairs. He cupped his hands and said, fellow cultivator, I am the sect master of the Sky Yuan sect, Tian Xuanzi. My Taoist title is the mysterious Sky Taoist. May I know why you are visiting the sect? As the master of the Sky Yuan sect, the mysterious Sky Taoist was very polite and didn't put on airs at all. Chapter 12:11. The upper echelons of the Heaven's Origin sect locked their gazes on Lin Rei and the others. The aura emanating from Lin Rei and the others told them that this group of people was not simple. This was especially so for the young man in the lead, Lin Rei. Their clansmen were able to detect his cultivation. Even Daoist Tian Xian could only see a cloud of fog when he tried. Daoist Tian Xian could not see anything clearly. This made him even more cautious. After all, as the sect leader of a second-rate sect, he had to be responsible for everyone in the sect. It was better to offend a gentleman than a villain. Before he figured out the background of this group of people, he would not offend them. Of course, even if he knew, he would not offend them. At most, he would just ask them to leave. Daoist Tian Xian's behavior surprised Lin Rei. This temper of a sect leader was really unusual. Of course, he did not pay too much attention to this. He glanced at the crowd and told them the purpose of his visit. Everyone, there is no need to be nervous. I came here today for 2 reasons. The first is to visit the sect. I heard that the Xuanzong sect is famous. Now that I have seen it, it is indeed true. Everyone was speechless. The crowd rolled their eyes at Lin Rei's sudden flattery. They did not let down their guard because of this. The second reason. This time, he got to the point. The second reason is, of course, to borrow your precious land to cultivate for 2 years. My disciples' cultivation is too low. Therefore, I want to find a blessed land with a beautiful environment and rich saint spiritual qi. Therefore, he pointed at the spot and continued, after much consideration, I still feel that the Heaven's Origin sect should, I hope you will agree to my presumptuous request. He seemed to be afraid that Daoist Tian Xian would not agree. After all, he did not want to do anything overboard. It was best for everyone to live in peace. In order to show that we can cultivate again, I will give you saint crystals, pills, weapons, talismans, or even the sect's defensive formation. As long as you want it, I will use it as compensation. What do you think? If the crowd in the Shenyuan imperial capital heard this, they would probably agree if they were the sect leader of the Heaven's Origin sect. After all, who did not like saint-level items? Even a saint-level sect's defensive formation was better than their current one. However, reality was often contrary to one's imagination. After all, in the eyes of most people, the blessed enclave was far more realistic than what was promised verbally. In particular, an honest person like the mysterious Sky Daoist would never allow Lin Rei and the others to join his sect for the sake of immediate benefits. He looked up, his eyes filled with determination. Fellow Daoist Lin Rei's eyes were filled with anticipation as he waited for Daoist Tian Yuan's answer. Fellow Daoist Lin, I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you. Lin Rei was stunned and looked at Daoist Tian Xian in surprise. He was even more curious about this person now. There were not many people in this world who could resist temptation, but unfortunately, he had met one. Why? Lin Rei was puzzled. The blessed enclave is the most precious heritage of our sect. Moreover, according to the sect's rules, outsiders are not allowed to enter the blessed enclave. Therefore, Pa-ta. Before Daoist Tian Xian could finish his words, a strange sound attracted everyone's attention. A long spear fell to the ground. The murderous aura on the spear shocked everyone present. It shone brightly and had a majestic aura. This is, cultivators who were able to reach the upper echelons of the sect were usually knowledgeable. The moment they saw the long spear, they could tell the level and quality of the item from its aura. First-grade martial saint? That's right. It was a first-grade martial saint. Lin Rei had casually refined it when he broke through to the martial saint level. It was not of a high level and had always been placed in the corner of his storage ring. If not for the fact that he wanted to keep it here, he would not have taken out such a memorable item. Daoist Tian Xian's exclamation attracted the attention of all the elders present. They all walked up to the spear and looked at the murderous aura emanating from the spear. Their hearts twitched and their breathing quickened. With their current cultivation base, if they had enough spiritual energy, they might have a chance to become a first-class force in the future. Lin Rei took in everyone's expression. He knew that no matter who it was, they would not be able to resist such a treasure. What do you think? If fellow Daoist Tian Xian agrees to let us cultivate for another 2 years, I will leave in just 2 years. During these 2 years, you can tell me whatever you want at any time. I will satisfy all of your requests. Of course. Seemingly thinking of something, Zhong Jian reminded them. The things you want must be the materials you provide. I do not have them here. If you agree, this long spear will be yours. Not only that, I will also give you this emperor-breaking pellet as long as you agree. A medicinal bottle containing the emperor-breaking pellet appeared before everyone. Although Zhong Jian did not insist on it, even Daoist Tian Xian could not help himself. Not for himself, but for the disciples of his sect. If he could obtain this emperor-breaking pellet, it would mean that his sect would have another martial saint. Looking at the 2 items in front of him, Daoist Tian Xian's expression was complicated. He wanted to agree, but when he thought of the unknown origin of this group of people in front of him, his originally relaxed attitude was once again sealed. Just like this, Daoist Tian Xian, who did not have a firm belief, could not resist the pitiful and expectant eyes of his fellow disciples. Fellow Daoist Lin, during this period of time in the sect, you cannot act recklessly. Oh, you agree? Yes, I agree. Daoist Tian Xian nodded in agreement. Cupping his hands in response to Lin Rei, he waved his hand, and the long spear and emperor-breaking pellet disappeared. When they reappeared, they were in Daoist Tian Xian's storage ring. As the saying goes, if you take someone's money, you have to take care of their misfortune. Since I've taken the money, there's nothing I can't do. Third Elder, now it's up to you to lead this person and his disciple around the sect. Whoosh. Sect Master, I. The Third Elder's words were suddenly cut off as he stood there in a daze. He stared at the empty space in front of him with a stunned expression. Damn it, you ran too fast. You took the items, but why am I the one who has to do all the hard work? Although he was complaining in his heart, his face revealed a kind expression. Whoosh whoosh. After the sect master left, other than the Third Elder, the other elders naturally scattered. Looking at the empty hall, the Third Elder sighed and came to Lin Rei's side with a smile. Fellow Daoist Lin, since that is the case, let me lead everyone around the sect. After saying that, he made an inviting gesture and walked forward. As he walked, he kept complaining about Daoist Tian Xian. Thank you. Chapter 12:12. The Heavenly Yuan sect could be considered a second-rate sect, and its scale was not to be underestimated. Just the battle hall was enough to confuse Lin Rei. In the Xuanzong sect, the battle hall was only made up of a few dozen palaces, and it was very simple. Here, however, it was very complicated. There were low-level, mid-level, and high-level divisions, and they were divided into several areas. Lin Rei felt that it was a little unnecessary. Since he wanted to nurture a sect, he had to bring out the best and treat everyone equally. How was it different from dividing people into different grades and ranks? The disciples with good talent would get the best things, and their breakthroughs would be faster. However, the disciples with poor talent would get the worst things, and their breakthroughs would be much slower. If they did not have a good cultivation technique as a starting point, the gap would only grow bigger and bigger. The good things would continue to be good, and the bad things would only get worse. This would be a burden to the sect's growth. Of course, this was only his thought. After all, not every sect would be like the Xuanzong sect, treating everyone equally and fighting for all resources with their own strength. No matter who you were, whether you were talented or not, it was the same. There was no difference. Fellow Daoist Lin, we just passed by the battle hall. Today is our sect's annual arena competition. If you are interested, why don't you come and take a look? I'll just take it as a show. I wonder, sure. Since fellow Daoist has invited me, I can only decline. He was just worried that he would be bored, and such an interesting thing happened. It just so happened that he wanted to see just how strong this second-rate sect of the saints' world was. He wanted to see if they were as strong as his disciples. The two of them agreed, and the group came and went quietly. They walked slowly in the air toward the arena area. They were not fast, and the arena area was not far from the battle hall. Soon, the group arrived at the arena area that the third elder had mentioned. Boom, raging dragon. Heavenly dragon palm. Two low growls rang out, attracting Linley's attention. He saw that on the distant arena, two men were both using their most powerful battle techniques. Suddenly, gusts of wild wind collided with the palms that filled the sky. Boom boom, the shockwaves from the battle spread out in all directions. However, this scene caused Lin Ray to be slightly puzzled. Logically speaking, there should be a protective formation around the arena. Of course, it wasn't just for protection. More importantly, it was to prevent the shockwaves from the battle from harming the surrounding disciples. However, it was clear that this arena did not have that kind of array formation. The aftermath of the battle instantly rushed out, and some of the weaker disciples below the arena were careless in this kind of aftermath. In the end, they fainted because of their lack of strength. There were even some people who were directly sent flying and had an intimate contact with the wall. That scene, that feeling, that pain, just thinking about it made one panic. Thump 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 suddenly, a man flew out from the gale. In the end, his physical strength was exhausted, and his spiritual power was exhausted. He directly fell off the stage. It was too strong. The gale was like the autumn wind sweeping away fallen leaves. Without the support of its master, it instantly dissipated into nothingness. Junior brother Zhang, you've lost. On the stage, the man looked at the person lying below with an arrogant expression. His face was pale, and the blood in his chest was boiling. When he heard those words, he could not help but feel a sweet taste in his throat, and blood spurted out uncontrollably. Puff, senior brother Zhang, below the arena, some of the disciples saw the defeated man spurting out blood. One by one, they began to comfort him. When they realized that the man's life was not in any danger, they were relieved. Looking at someone who was too strong, Lin Ray inexplicably felt uncomfortable. This kind of feeling was indescribable. It was just an impulse to beat someone up. This little guy is quite arrogant. He opened his mouth to talk to himself. He was talking to himself, and also to the third elder next to him. Sure enough, when the third elder heard this, he smiled and explained. Fellow Taoist Lin, the person on the stage is a newly accepted disciple. However, his talent is too strong. He has overcome all the difficulties along the way and has grown to this point. When he spoke of this disciple, there was a proud expression on his old face. It was as if the sect was proud to have such a disciple. However, Lin Ray was not optimistic about this disciple. On the contrary, he bought a defeated disciple. Lin Ray was a little interested in him. Hong Yun, bring him up here. Suddenly, Lin Ray ordered. Yes. Hong Yun replied and disappeared. When he reappeared, he was in front of the injured disciple surnamed Zhang. The incident happened so suddenly that the third elder did not have time to react. However, when he reacted, he saw Hong Yun in the arena. Hong Yun's appearance attracted the attention of many people, especially the young man on the stage. When he saw Hong Yun suddenly appear, his face was covered with frost and anger surged. Bastard, who allowed you to touch him? Let go of him. Lin Ray, everyone, the third elder. The man's words caused everyone present, including Lin Li and the others, to be stunned, especially the battalion disciples who had come with Hong Yun and the others. Even though the others' cultivation was like an ant to them, when they heard their companions being scolded like this, they were shocked. Young master, please allow me to play with this little guy. He looked at Lin Ray with a pleading look. Lin Ray knew the man. His name was Fong Su and he was a very hard-working disciple. His cultivation had reached the peak ultimate god realm. As for his talent, he was at most the lowest level. Looking at him, Lin Rei pondered for a while. He fixed his eyes on the third elder and asked. After all, this was the third elder's territory. It was not good for him to be presumptuous here. Fellow cultivator, as you can see, my subordinate can't bear to see his companion being scolded. How about this? Let my subordinate go up and delay for a while. When I wake up the young man, I'll let them fight. What do you think? Lin Rei said decisively. The third elder was stunned. Although it was against the rules, he did not stop Lin Rei when he thought of the things he took out. He nodded and said, if that's the case, all right. Swoosh. As soon as the third elder finished speaking, Fang Su disappeared. When he reappeared, he was behind the young man on the stage. TSK, it's good to be arrogant at such a young age. However, you think too highly of yourself and look down on everyone. What are your assets? Talent? Spiritual root? Comprehension? Perseverance? Step by step, he walked towards the young man. His words were getting sharper and sharper. I'm sorry, but you're nothing in my eyes. Slap. A clear palm print appeared on the left side of the young man's face. What happened? The crowd was stunned. They saw the palm print on the young man's face, but when did the other party do it? You. His face hurt, but he did not care. He widened his eyes and looked at the man who suddenly appeared in shock. The others did not know, but he knew very well that the other party had done it. It was just that the speed was so fast that the people below did not see it clearly. Chapter 12-13. The scene froze. Hong Yun, who was carrying the young man with the surname Zhang, came to Lin Rei's side and placed him on the ground. He then stood up and returned to Lin Rei's side without saying a word. The third elder fixed his gaze on Lin Rei. He wanted to see what would happen next. Not only the third elder, but the group of people below who were concerned about the disciple with the surname Zhang were also very curious. Of course, most of them were wary. To be able to do this in front of the third elder, the other party must have a very big opening. He lowered his head and looked at the pale young man lying on the ground. A smile appeared on his face as he squatted down and took out a pill that emitted a fragrance. Kid, this pill is for you. I hope you won't disappoint me later. The reason why he did this was not only because he disliked the man on the stage, but also because he wanted to prove to the heavenly profound sect that his arrival would not bring them any harm. Instead, it would bring them great benefits. For example, the healing pellet that he was using right now. He stretched out his hand and pried open the young man's mouth. The pill melted in his mouth, leaving a fragrance in his mouth. Boom! The unconscious young man suddenly felt a surge of pure spiritual chi of heaven and earth appear in his body and rush to his limbs and bones. The young man did not have any time to think. He circulated his cultivation technique and began to recover. In the arena, Fang Su looked at the young man who was in a daze. A look of disdain flashed across his face. He did not want to make a move against such a person. Kid, I won't do anything to you. However, you will know in a while that the person you look down on might be stronger than you in the next moment. He might even surpass you. After saying that, he did not continue. He stood on the spot and released his pressure to suppress the young man, waiting for him to recover. Daoist Tian Xian was unaware of this. Of course. Even if he knew, he would not say anything. After all, the other party's conditions were too harsh. At this moment, Daoist Tian Xian did not have the time to care about such trivial matters. In the back mountain, Daoist Tian Xian sat cross-legged in the cave where the sect master cultivated in seclusion. The weapon that Lin Rei gave him was on his knees. Looking at it, his burning gaze could not hide the excitement in his heart. Refine it. As long as I refine it, my power will increase greatly. In the future sect wars, the heavenly Yuan sect will not be mocked by the other sects, and I will be able to stand tall and not be mocked like before. I will not be treated as a pushover and be bullied by others. Recalling the discrimination, disdain, and oppression that he had suffered in the past, his desire to tame the weapon before him grew even stronger. At this moment, Daoist Tian Xian chose to go into seclusion, leaving all matters of the sect to the Grand Elder, Zhao Yunmeng. In the arena area, Lin Rei went to a quiet place and sat down, quietly waiting for the youth to wake up. Time passed in silence. Everyone's eyes were focused on the young man who was recovering. Even the person who had injured him in the ring was looking at the young man with the surname Zhang. He was also very curious about how the person who had defeated him in the quilt would defeat him after recovering from his injuries. It was not that he was confident, but that he was too confident. In terms of talent, he was of the highest grade. In terms of spiritual roots, he was of the highest grade. His willpower was also one of the best. Moreover, he had powerful cultivation resources. No matter which one of these aspects he used, the youth surnamed Zhang could not compare to him. He did not believe that a pill could defeat him. He did not believe it, but he was confident. Others might not know that although the pill that Lin Rei had taken out was not a saint-grade pill, it was still a grade 6 divine-grade water cloud pill. This kind of pill could heal injuries very quickly. Moreover, it would heal all the hidden injuries on the body and make it as good as new. Under everyone's gaze, 2 streams of white mist rushed out of the youth surnamed Zhang's nostrils. His pale face returned to normal. The hidden injuries that had accumulated in his body for many years were also healed by the water cloud pill. His body was as strong as a calf. This is amazing. The youth opened his closed eyes and said in surprise. He turned his head and looked at the eyes of the people around him. He was stunned on the spot. Because he was unconscious, he did not know what had happened. Now that he had woken up and everyone's eyes were on him, the youth was even more stunned. Third elder? However, the instant his gaze swept over and landed on the third elder, his expression froze. He hurriedly jumped up, tidied his messy clothes, and calmed the excitement in his heart. He bowed and respectfully said, "Disciple Zhang Ming greets third elder. Thank you, third elder, for giving me the pill that allowed me to recover." The third elder was speechless. He was very shocked by Zhang Ming's quick recovery. However, when he heard the hint in Zhang Ming's words, the third elder blushed and corrected him. "Zhang Ming, you're wrong." What's wrong? He did not understand what the third elder meant. Zhang Ming's blank face made the third elder have the urge to beat him up. "I didn't give you the pill just now." Then, he pointed to Lin Rei who was sitting at the side and said, "This is fellow Taoist Lin Rei. He will be staying in the sect for a while. He gave you the pill just now. At the same time, it was his subordinate who saved you. So, there's no need to thank me." Speaking of this, the third elder felt a little guilty. After all, Zhang Ming was a disciple of the sect. Previously, he did not think of treating him at first. Instead, he treated an outsider. Hearing the third elder's words, Zhang Ming was stunned. He turned his head to look at the man who was smiling at him. Zhang Ming understood and bowed. "Thank you, senior." Little guy, do you want to redeem your dignity?" Instead of answering, the third elder asked. This, Zhang Ming hesitated. It would be a lie to say that he did not want to. However, when he thought of the third elder's conditions, he was a little hesitant. If he had the third elder's conditions, he might have the strength to smile, but, thinking of his needs and the gap between him and the third elder, he smiled bitterly and shook his head. It was not that he did not want to, but there was a gap between the two of them. He was also unhappy with Qian Yue in the arena, but it was a foregone conclusion. "You don't want to?" Zhang Ming shook his head. Lin Rei's expression changed. He frowned. Obviously, he was not satisfied with Zhang Ming's response. As a cultivator, it was fun to fight with others. It was fun to fight with the earth. It was fun to fight with the heavens. Cultivation was about fighting. If one did not fight, one would be eliminated in the end. In this man-eat-man world, if one did not have the strength, everything would be in vain. No, Zhang Ming raised his head. His eyes revealed a hint of determination. It's not that I don't want to, but I don't have the strength. Moreover, the third elder's cultivation resources are many times better than mine. I want to fight. I want to fight. But now that I have been kicked out of the arena, I don't have the chance. At the side, the third elder's expression was very interesting. The corner of his mouth twitched as he looked at Zhang Ming, who was playing with something. He did not expect Zhang Ming to have such a mentality. However, he could not refute Zhang Ming's words. After all, the sect was like this. Whoever had the best talent would be greatly nurtured. Therefore, it was not only the Heavenly Yuan sect. The other sects were the same. This was something that could not be changed. TSK, coward. Such a person is not worthy of me fighting with him again. A cold mocking voice rang in Zhang Ming's ears. Zhang Ming's loosened hands suddenly squeezed together. Perhaps because he was using too much strength, his hands were clenched so tightly that they turned pale. His face also darkened. Inferiority was Zhang Ming's biggest enemy. He was a person with low self-esteem from the bottom of his heart. He tried his best to show off his appearance and perform well to win the sect's attention. However, his talent was there. No matter how hard he tried, it was useless. In the arena, everyone looked at Zhang Ming. His friends, junior brothers, junior sisters, and even those who admired him were all disappointed because of his hesitation and his inferiority. That's right, they were disappointed. In their hearts, Zhang Ming was a positive person who worked hard to cultivate and overcome difficulties. But now, what they saw was only a person who did not dare to appear again because of the strength of his opponent. He was a person who did not have a firm heart. They were very disappointed, but there was also a glimmer of hope in their hearts. They hoped that Zhang Ming would fight for his dignity. Sigh. Lin Rei sighed. It was a spur-of-the-moment thing. He did not expect to save a coward. Forget it. Since you put your dignity under your feet, no one can help you. However, I advise you to leave the path of cultivation. It is not suitable for you. With that, he got up and was about to leave. He was very disappointed in Zhang Ming and also felt that it was a pity that he had used the water cloud pill. He thought that he had saved a person with backbone and courage. Now, it seemed that he was just a coward without any fighting spirit. Fang Su, let's go. Since he doesn't want to save his dignity, there is no need for him to stay here. On the arena, Fang Su heard this and nodded. His figure disappeared, and when he reappeared, he was behind Lin Rei. However, when his eyes fell on Zhang Ming, disappointment flashed across his face. Zhang Ming used to be a person with poor talent and a low-grade spirit root. Now, he was still a consummate divine emperor. Coward, you can't even break the stumbling block in front of you. How can you seek the Tao? I think it's better for you to go home and farm, marry a wife, and spend the rest of your life in peace. After that, he turned and left without saying anything. Am I really going to be looked down upon by others for the rest of my life? Am I really a coward as others say? His expression was full of struggle. Yes, he was struggling. He was choosing between cowardice and bravery. He was choosing. Lin Rei's figure was getting farther and farther away. At this moment, Lin Rei walked very slowly. He was waiting. He was waiting for Zhang Ming's voice. He was waiting for Zhang Ming's choice. Step by step, he was about to leave the arena area, but he still did not hear the voice he wanted to hear. He was completely disappointed. It seems that the pill was really wasted. As he spoke, he quickened his pace. He did not want to stay here and look at that brat who was full of inferiority. No, I don't want to be a coward. I don't want to be looked down upon by others. I want to fight. I want to continue fighting. Third Elder, please allow me to continue fighting. I don't want to give up this opportunity. At this moment, Zhang Ming was almost shouting. His voice was loud and clear, and it was frightening. "Ha, this brat." One of his feet stopped in the air. As long as he stepped out, Zhang Ming would lose this opportunity completely. However, it was fortunate that he had spoken up before he stepped out of the room. A smile appeared on his face. He turned to Zhang Ming and said with a smile, "Since you've decided, what are you still doing there? Get up." The third elder also turned around and looked at Zhang Ming. There was a hint of anticipation in his eyes as he said, "Since this is your choice, then I will give you a break." As he spoke, his gaze fell on the elder in charge of this place. He said, "Old Li, since this disciple has this request, let him fight again." Old Li was speechless. Hearing the third elder's words, Old Li felt helpless in his heart. However, who asked the third elder's position to be so high? He cupped his hands and said, "Since the third elder has said so, then, Zhang Ming, go up. It's the same. Don't think about the past." All the cultivators who were looking at Zhang Ming and the junior brothers and sisters who were disappointed in him were now filled with hope. In the arena, the young man named Zhao Wenba looked at Zhang Ming in surprise. He did not expect Zhang Ming to choose to fight again. This was not his usual style. However, so what if he fought again? He would still lose no matter how many times he lost. This was Zhao Wenba's confidence. "Come on, trash. Let me see what changes you can make if you fight me again." He looked at Zhang Ming and snorted coldly. At this moment, Lin Rei and the others had already returned to their previous positions. All of their gazes fell on Zhang Ming. This battle was destined to be a battle where this brat completely lost his inferiority complex. It was inevitable. On the arena, Zhang Ming stepped up again. Although he was still not confident, he wanted to fight. He did not want to be looked down upon by others. He did not want to disappoint those who cared about him. That was all. "Come on." Zhao Wenba did not give Zhang Ming any time to prepare. The moment Zhang Ming stepped on the arena, he moved. The sword in his hand was held horizontally in front of his chest. Sword chi soared into the sky. At this moment, he was serious. He wanted to let those who cared about him know that in his eyes, Zhang Ming was a trash, a ruin that was nothing. Sword art of dazzling flame, the first move, blazing prairie. The spiritual energy in his body surged crazily. Fire spiritual energy gushed out and covered the sword. The surging sword chi seemed to be able to cut through everything in the void. What? This is the Sect's low divine sword art. How could senior brother Zhao? Sword art of dazzling flame. Isn't this sword art very difficult to cultivate and requires a fire spiritual root to cultivate? Oh my god, Nuance Realm. Senior brother Zhao's sword art of dazzling flame has entered the Nuance Realm. At this moment, everyone was praying for Zhang Ming in their hearts. They prayed that he would not be hit. Otherwise, he would either die or be injured. In the distance, Lin Rei's relaxed expression disappeared. He did not expect Zhao Wenba to be able to comprehend such a sword art. "I want everyone to see that I, Zhang Ming, am not a coward." At this moment, Zhang Ming did not realize how powerful his opponent's sword art was. I want to become stronger. I want to defeat you." Zhang Ming muttered to himself. Lin Rei was speechless. This foolish brat. Zhang Ming's soliloquy completely stunned Lin Li. What kind of idiot was this? Chapter 12-14. Sword shadows drifted in the air with numerous changes. Rays of sword light appeared one after another with a majestic aura. It was obvious that Zhang Ming was no match for Zhao Feng. However, how could Zhang Ming care about that at this moment? The current him was dominated by the unwillingness in his heart. He raised the long sword in his hand and didn't care about anything else. He used the lunar shadow step and a series of afterimages flashed as he charged towards Zhao Wenbo. The two of them had distinct auras. It was obvious who was stronger and who was weaker. However, in the eyes of others, Zhang Ming might not be as strong as Zhao Wenbo. However, with Lin Rei here, even if Zhao Wenbo was an idiot, he would still be able to defeat him. Attack his left side and live as long as the heavens and earth. The sudden instruction caused Zhang Ming to stop. The retribution suddenly disappeared. He couldn't help but look at Lin Rei, who was looking at him dangerously. Don't look at me. Focus on the enemy. You have my help this time. In the future, you will have to work hard by yourself. Looking at Zhang Ming, Lin Rei reminded him, remember, don't care about others. Talent is not important. As long as you have the heart of an expert, no matter how difficult the path ahead is, it will not be a problem. Quick, he's coming. Dang, hearing Lin Rei's reminder, Zhang Ming quivered and came back to his senses. The dangerous aura rushed towards his head. He subconsciously made a decision. He grabbed the sword hilt with both hands and raised it above his head to block the sword that was coming down. Puff puff. However, the sword aura of the Xianhua sword art actually brushed past Zhang Ming's body. His arms, thighs and face were all covered with bloody sword wounds. Fortunately, this was only a competition within the sect. If it was a battle of life and death, the one standing right now would not be Zhang Ming, but a corpse lying on the ground. Brat, you are not my opponent. Give up. If you give up, I can pretend that none of this ever happened. I will not let you go like before. However, if you continue to be stubborn, don't blame me for being merciless. Even if this is only a competition within the sect, I will let you know how cruel the consequences of offending me are. The threatening voice sounded in Zhang Ming's ears. It was very soft and the disciples below could not hear it. However, Lin Li and the others heard him very clearly, as though Zhao Wenbo was whispering into their ears. The third elder's face was gloomy. He was also a divine venerable, so he naturally heard what Zhao Wenbo said. He blushed because of Zhao Wenbo's words. How could such a disciple receive cultivation resources from the sect? This made the third elder feel like he had lost face in front of outsiders. However, even though he was embarrassed, he didn't flare up. After all, there were outsiders around. Even if he wanted to teach him a lesson, he would have to wait until this matter was over and do it privately. Brat, as the saying goes, take his life while he's down. Now's a good time. Tap his Tanzhong acupoint with your sword and kick his crotch with your legs. Bang! Crack! This time, Zhang Ming's speed was much faster. When he heard Lin Rei's instructions, he did as Lin Rei said without even thinking. While Zhao Wenbo was still in a daze, he quickly pointed out with his finger sword. The moment the finger sword moved, he lifted his leg and kicked Zhao Wenbo's crotch. A scream came out from Zhao Wenbo's mouth. His face was pale and cold sweat poured down. He tightened his legs and bent his waist. He threw his sword aside and covered his crotch with his hands. A man's most precious thing. The pain was like an electric shock, spreading throughout his body. Now, do a set of combination punches. Remember, aim for the weakest part of the human body. Don't show any mercy in front of an opponent with great disparity in strength. Showing mercy to the enemy is showing mercy to yourself. If you don't do it well, you'll end up dead. As soon as he said that, Zhang Ming's timid and self-abased expression suddenly became sharp. He immediately launched a set of long punches. Bang bang bang, knee joint, elbow joint, nose bridge, temple, all kinds of weak acupoints. Anyway, as long as it was a weak spot, Zhang Ming's long punches would take care of it. The scene was very brutal and bloody. Zhang Ming was no longer like before when he was full of hostility. It was as if he had poured all the grievances he had suffered onto Zhao Wenbo. Bang bang, the long punches continued. Zhao Wenba had completely lost his fighting strength under Zhang Ming's punches. The most serious one was the kick to his crotch, which basically made Zhao Wenba lose 50% of his fighting strength. In this way, Zhang Ming's advantage came. With Lin Rui's guidance, he still couldn't win. There was no need for Zhang Ming to commit suicide. Lin Rui could just blow himself up. In just an instant, the battle was over. It was even faster than the previous battle. At this moment, the entire place was silent. Everyone was staring at Chen Fan, who seemed to have gone mad. They were all dumbfounded by this scene. They looked at Zhang Ming's figure and felt that he was a stranger. The one in front of them, was he still the gentle senior brother? Was he still the gentle and easy to talk to senior brother? The third elder also had the same thought. This kind of method had completely shocked his cognition. It was reasonable to say that in a battle, as long as one could win, it didn't matter what method was used. But, crotch kicking was really, let's do it like this. Release all the anger, unwillingness, and humiliation that you have accumulated over the years. From now on, you will completely bid farewell to your previous self. Do it ruthlessly. Don't be lenient. Think about how he treated you before. As long as you don't kill him, I will take care of everything for you. It's over. After hearing those words, Zhang Ming became even crazier. He had no intention of stopping. His fists bombarded Zhao Wenba's body. Just by looking at the scene, one could feel the pain from his fists. This brat, why did he suddenly, could it be? Seeing the change in Zhang Ming, the third elder's gaze suddenly swept over to Lin Rui. Thinking of Lin Rui's words earlier, he was 80% sure that the reason why Zhang Ming was able to defeat Zhao Wenba was all thanks to Lin Rui. Of course, the most important thing was Zhao Wenba himself. If he hadn't been careless, if he hadn't thought too highly of himself, if he hadn't considered everyone else to be beneath him, if he hadn't given Zhang Ming the opportunity to take advantage of him, and ended up like this, blood gushed out from Zhao Wenba's mouth. All the bones in his body were broken. He looked so miserable that no one dared to look at him directly. Just like that, it continued for 5 minutes. Finally, the hosting elder came back to his senses. He quickly went up to the stage. His divine sovereign cultivation soared into the sky and separated the two. Plop. Without Zhang Ming's support, Zhao Wenba fell to the ground like a pile of mud. Although it wasn't to say that his life was hanging by a thread, it was more or less the same. If they didn't hurry up and save him, his life might be in danger. Quick, third elder, Zhao Wenba is about to die. The hosting elder went forward to check. When he felt that Zhao Wenba's life force was slowly fading away, he became anxious and called for help from the third elder. Whoosh, understanding the seriousness of the matter, he instantly went to Zhao Wenba's side and placed his hand on Zhao Wenba's body. Streams of spiritual energy entered Zhao Wenba's body to keep him alive. Chapter 12-15. You guys stay here and watch. I'll go take a look. Now that the matter was settled, Lin Rui didn't need to stay here and listen to their conversation. After leaving the Heavenly Yuan sect, he still needed to find a place with abundant spiritual qi for his disciples to cultivate in seclusion. Of course, most importantly, he wanted to check if the Heavenly Yuan sect's dragon vein really existed. With the dragon vein support, he believed that his disciples would be able to break through faster and faster. If it really existed, he didn't mind emptying the dragon vein and placing it in Chu Yuan Valley. Lin Rui's departure didn't bring much change to the scene. Hong Yun and the others just watched. As for Zhang Ming, he wanted to thank the person who gave him pointers as soon as he left. However, before he could move, he was stopped by the third elder. All the disciples present had to stay. Within the Heaven Yuan sect, Lin Li wandered about aimlessly, looking at the various palaces in front of him. His own immortal's cave was constantly probing the area with his divine sense, looking for places with dense Holy Spirit qi. Perhaps it was because he was serious, but he saw someone blocking his way. Bang! Ah, a woman cried out in alarm. She immediately retracted her divine sense and turned to look. A woman turned around and glared at Lin Ray. She looked like she wanted to eat him alive. Lin Ray was stunned. Sorry, it was an unintentional mistake. He turned around and was about to leave. As for the woman, she was very beautiful. Her skin was like jade, but there was a hint of sadness between her brows. However, this was nothing to Lin Ray. In his heart, this woman couldn't be compared to the dragon vein. The system said, "You brat, do you think it's over just because she said sorry?" What else? What else? The system was helpless. This host is a little stupid. When meeting such a beautiful woman, he should at least talk to her. She's such a beautiful woman. You should at least treat her to a meal or tea. No matter how bad it is, you should at least ask her if she's okay. Do you want to send her to the infirmary? Lin Ray was speechless. Based on what the system had said, Lin Ray had the urge to pull it out and give it a good beating. Cut the crap. Hurry up and check if there is a dragon vein here. Don't forget, if I don't complete the main quest in the end, you still have to search for it. Even if I'm lucky enough to have a constitution like mine appear in the entire system, how long do you think it will take to nurture it from scratch? F***CK. The system cursed. However, it didn't continue to act recklessly. After all, what Lin Ray said wasn't without reason. All right. In response, the system's voice appeared. Ding, probing in progress, please wait a moment host, the system notification sounded. Lin Ray was relieved. He believed that once the system made a move, it would know whether there was a dragon vein or not. As long as there was a dragon vein here, he did not believe that he could not find it. Stop, right there. Suddenly, a cold voice rang out from behind him. Lin Ray, who was walking forward, suddenly stiffened. Turning his head, he looked at the gloomy woman and said, "You, really called me?" Looking at Lin Ray's calm face, the woman was even angrier. "You bumped into me just now and you think an apology will be enough? What else?" Lin Ray said. "Who are you? Outer Sect? Inner Sect? Elite? Core or direct disciple?" The woman said a series of words. None of them. Clang. A sword light flashed. The woman unsheathed her sword and waved it. She said coldly, "Since you're none of them, then you're someone who entered the sect without permission. According to the sect rules, those who enter the sect without permission will be killed without mercy." Her words became colder and colder. She released her cultivation and continued, "So, die. Whoosh, F***CK. Can you be reasonable?" Looking at the woman rushing towards him, Lin Ray was stunned. This woman was too fierce. Wasn't it just a bump? It's not like I didn't apologize. Is there a need to fight like this? Kill without mercy? Damn you, why don't you try killing me? The system said, "Isn't she doing it right now?" Lin Ray was speechless. The system's godly attack left Lin Ray speechless. However, Lin Ray didn't care about the sword that suddenly appeared in front of him. The best in this sect was only a Dao fruit sage. The rest were nothing to be afraid of. The sword appeared in front of her and stabbed towards Lin Ray's throat. Just as it was about to pierce through Lin Ray's throat, she raised her hand and clamped the sword with both hands. The tip of the sword stopped a finger away from his throat. How is this possible? Lin Ray's action shocked the woman. She knew that although she didn't use her full strength, she still used 70% of her strength. Moreover, the sword in her hand was a third-grade divine rank. She couldn't accept that her opponent had caught her sword with his bare hands. You. Let go. In her shock, she wanted to pull the sword out. Unfortunately, Lin Ray didn't give her the chance. He raised his head and looked at her calmly. His tone was a little unhappy. "Little girl, I just bumped into you unintentionally. Is there a need to kill me? You and I have no grudges. You being so busy doesn't seem to fit the cultivation atmosphere of the Heavens branch. Indeed, this woman's actions were vicious and merciless. It didn't match the personality of the sect leader. He believed that with Tian Xian's personality, he wouldn't tolerate such an existence in the sect. You, Ding. Host, the other party has the crystal core. If you can get it, a breakthrough is just around the corner. What? Crystal core? She has it? The sudden notification stunned Lin Rei. He raised his head and looked at the woman in surprise. He didn't expect this to happen. That's right. The energy in this crystal core is very dense. If you can get it, you can at least break through a big realm. Damn. This is incredible. Lin Rei was tempted. The amount of Saint's spiritual qi he needed to break through was too much. If he cultivated step by step, he wouldn't be able to break through to the realm he wanted even if he cultivated for 10,000 years. Thinking about it, he released his fingers and retreated a few meters away. He looked at the woman with a teasing gaze. Little girl, what is your name? What are you doing in the Heavens branch? You have something on you that I need. Tell me your conditions. As long as you can give it to me, I will agree to any conditions. The woman was speechless. Just a moment ago, he was still pointing his sword at her. In the next moment, he changed his attitude. The woman couldn't react. Ding. Scanning complete. Ding. There is a dragon vein under the main peak of the Heavens branch. There is a 5-clawed golden dragon sealed within. Ding. The 5-clawed golden dragon is the leader of the dragon clan. Its cultivation level is very high. It is not recommended for host to make an enemy out of it. What the F***ck? A sentence that had not been asked blurted out. What's going on today? Is the god of fortune here? Or is it luck? Why is it that everything I lack is here today? Chapter 12:16. TSK, this is an opportunity, good things are coming. I can't stop them. At this moment, Lin Rei seemed to see that he had already raised his cultivation to the next realm. However, disappearing was cruel. Just as Lin Rei was daydreaming and smiling foolishly, a cold voice rang out and entered Lin Rei's ears. Are you stupid? Lin Rei was speechless. After being awakened, Lin Rei looked at the woman. He was sure that he had her. She was something that could bring him to the next level. Think carefully about my previous suggestion. There aren't many people in this world who can make me like this. As long as you can give me that crystal core on your body, I can get you whatever you want. Even the stars in the sky would not be a problem. He was determined to get that item. No one could take it away from him, not even the sect leader of the Sky Yuan sect. Crystal core? She frowned and groped around her neck for a while. Finally, she took out a purple crystal core from her neck. He grabbed the crystal core and shook it. Is this it? Is it this one? Lin Rei wasn't sure. The system only said that it was a crystal core. Who knew which one it was? The system replied, yes, that's the one. The chaser crystal core has a lot of energy in it. You have to get it if you want to break through. Aren't you spouting nonsense? Rolling his eyes at the system, he came back to his senses and nodded. That's right, this is it. As long as you give it to me, I'll do whatever you want. Of course, that's not all. As long as you give it to me, the voice paused for a moment before continuing, I will give you a set of, a saint artifact. How is it? A saint artifact was extremely important to anyone, especially a little fellow like her who was in the process of leveling up. Lin Rei believed that she would definitely agree to the condition of a saint artifact. He was filled with anticipation and excitement as he waited for the woman's response. His appearance was extremely comical. I disagree. A black crow streaked across the top of Lin Rei's head. Space suddenly became quiet, and the entire world came to a standstill. He was dumbfounded. He didn't dare to believe that a saint artifact was actually unable to satisfy this woman. PFFF, are you stupid? The system burst out laughing. Not everyone is so unscrupulous, especially the girl in front of you. The system ruthlessly said, mercilessly attacking Lin Ray. Lin Ray, he raised his head and hugged the woman. He frowned and asked, why? Can you give me a reason? I don't care about saint artifacts, but what? Originally, they had lost all hope, but who knew that God would come back and give them a but? Their lost hope recovered quite a bit. You really want this? No matter what condition I raise, will you agree to it? The woman confirmed. Not bad. Linley said with certainty, the words of this exalted one are as good as gold. All right. The woman seemed to have decided on something. Her expression became more determined as she said, there is a dragon in the North Sea. If you can kill it, I will give it to you. As he spoke, he didn't forget to shake the crystal core, as if he was saying something. If you can't do it, you can forget about getting anything. North Sea, a dragon? Lin Ray didn't expect this. She didn't want the saint artifact and insisted on killing a dragon. However, all right, I promise you. As long as I can get the crystal core, I will get it for you even if it is a dragon, let alone a dragon. Just like that, the two reached an agreement. It's decided. As long as you bring me the dragon's corpse and let me see it, I will give it to you. Money and goods. We are even. Agreed. If you regret it, I will not make things difficult for you. After all, that dragon is very powerful. Tisk, it is just a small dragon. It is not difficult for me. He looked at the crystal core in the woman's hand with disdain and prepared to leave. Oh, right. The moment he turned around, he remembered that he didn't know the other party's name. What if he couldn't find her when he came back? Wouldn't it be a waste of effort? Fong Tingyu. All right. My name is Lin Ray. I will be in the Heavenly Yuan Sect within 2 years. As he spoke, he looked at Fong Tingyu and continued, within 2 years, I will definitely present you with what you want. Wait for it. After saying that, he didn't even look at Fong Tingyu. After a while, he disappeared from her sight. Lin Ray? I will remember you. I hope you can complete it. It was filled with a murderous and cold aura. It was as if it hated the flood dragon that she spoke of. Of course, Lin Ray didn't know and didn't want to know. He just wanted to get the crystal core as soon as possible. He didn't care about anything else. Standing at the foot of the main peak of the Heavenly Yuan Sect, Lin Fan was even more curious about the Heavenly Yuan Sect. Dragon Vein, Dragon Clan. Tisk TSK, the Heavenly Yuan Sect is not simple. The Dragon Clan was extremely powerful in the Holy World. Even the top forces didn't dare to offend them. In the Saints' world, tens of thousands of races fought for supremacy. The Dragon Clan could be said to be one of the top existences, yet they were sealed in a tiny second-rate sect. This made Lin Ray feel strange. What kind of existence was the Heavenly Yuan Sect in the past? Thinking about it, he walked to a hidden place. His divine sense and mental energy instantly rushed out. Following the direction indicated by the system, he went down and penetrated through the ground. Dragon Vein, Dragon Clan, I want to see what kind of existence you are. 100 meters. 1,000 meters. 10,000 meters, still not there? Lin Ray was stunned when he felt the Dragon Vein energy around him getting denser. No wonder the Dragon Vein energy is so thin. It's 10,000 meters below. Lin Ray was relieved when he thought about how he couldn't feel the Dragon Vein energy in the Heavenly Yuan Sect. If it wasn't for the system, he wouldn't have thought that there would be a Dragon Vein in this second-rate sect. As he went deeper, Lin Ray still couldn't find the Dragon Vein, let alone the Dragon Clan. Damn, is there a Dragon Vein or not? Lin Rei couldn't help but complain. He doubted whether there was a dragon vein or not. If he didn't feel the dragon vein, he would have doubted the system's notification. The system said indifferently, "Don't be so impatient. Maybe you can find what you want if you go deeper. You should know that if you find the dragon vein, it will greatly increase the speed of your disciples' cultivation. Moreover," the system paused and continued, "with the support of the dragon vein, your disciples' combat power will greatly increase. Although they can fight those of a higher level now, they are still lacking. If they can absorb the dragon vein, they will be able to fight those of the same level. In the previous battle with Lu Qingfeng, your disciples were barely able to do it. But they didn't cultivate assassination techniques. I'm afraid it won't be easy to defeat them." Chapter 12:17. Whose mental energy is probing where I am? In a space 50,000 meters below the main peak of the Heaven Yuan Sect, a giant dragon that stretched for thousands of meters coiled. It's been hundreds of thousands of years. I didn't expect that someone would still probe this place. Is this a miracle? Looking up, the giant dragon's lips curled into a smile. It opened its mouth and a suction force appeared. Why isn't it, just as Linley, who had been trying his best to descend, was worrying about not being able to find his destination, a terrifying suction force suddenly appeared. His divine will, which had been condensed from his spiritual energy, instantly lost control and began to descend at an extremely fast speed. What's going on? On the ground, Lin Rei's expression changed. He tried his best to control his mental energy, trying to break free from the suction force. However, he was wrong. This suction force was too strong. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't break free in the end. In fact, a strong sense of danger surged in his heart. He was certain that this suction force was extremely terrifying. Even he couldn't break free, let alone resist. He even had a feeling that if the other party exerted even the slightest bit of force, his divine sense would instantly collapse or even be destroyed. "Little guy, come in. This king won't do anything to you. I've just been trapped here for so many years that I can't bear the loneliness. I just want to find someone to talk to." The voice entered Lin Rei's ears. He, who had been trying his best to struggle, no longer wasted any energy. Instead, he welcomed the suction force and descended even faster. That's it. Come on. Sensing that the divine sense he had restrained was no longer struggling, a smile appeared on his face. Dragon race. Lin Rei didn't need to think to know the other party's identity. Without a doubt, this place could only be the dragon race that the system had mentioned. Whoosh. Bang. Solidly, the darkness vanished. Linley's divine will shot out from the previously blue space, solidly connecting with the ground for the first time. Hiss. It really hurts. Feeling the turbulence in his body, Lin Rei couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Such strength was absolutely not something a Dao Fruit Realm cultivator could possess. This was sufficient to prove that the strength of the Dragon Clan was above the Dao Fruit Realm. Lin Rei sat up and calmed the pain in his body. He raised his head and looked around. On the left, a huge dragon head appeared in his vision. What race are you? Lin Rei couldn't help but ask. His sect also had members of the dragon race. He really wanted to know what race the other party was. Not bad, kid. Seeing that Lin Rei was not panicking in front of them at all, the Dragon Clan's people had a strange expression on their faces. What? You're not going to tell me? The dragon race didn't speak. Lin Rei stood up and began to examine the illusion around him. As for whether or not the dragon race's people spoke, he didn't panic. In any case, they had come here for him and the dragon vein. Closing his eyes, he began to communicate with the surrounding dragon flag chi. When he entered this space, he could feel the pure dragon chi. He was sure that the dragon vein was here, and it was of a very high grade. Kid, I am a 5-clawed golden dragon, a member of the royal family of the dragon clan. What do you think? Aren't I handsome? That proud expression and arrogant tone made Lin Rei have the urge to call him an adult no matter how he listened to it. A member of the royal family of the dragon clan? Is he proud? My sect has a 5-clawed golden dragon. Am I proud? TCH, a member of the royal family of the dragon clan. A member of the royal family of the dragon clan is still trapped here. The dragon clan didn't come to save him. If I were you, I wouldn't have the face to reveal my identity. Shameful. He didn't give any face at all. Even if the other party's identity was noble, even if the other party's strength was heaven-defying, so what? The current him was just a divine consciousness condensed from mental strength. Even if it was destroyed, it wouldn't do any harm to his main body. It would be fine if he didn't come back after cultivating for a while. There was no big problem. Kid, the person who spoke to me like this back then became a dead person in the end. Are you not afraid of me? The dragon race's people asked in surprise. I'm not afraid. He didn't give the dragon race any face. In fact, he didn't even know this person existed. Instead, he continued to close his eyes and investigate the existence of the dragon vein. Dragon vein, where are you? Ha, found it. As Linley continued his search, he found a complete draconic vein 10,000 meters below the body of the draconic dragon. Damn, a huge mine. Looking at the dragon vein 10,000 meters away, Lin Rei was stunned. This dragon vein was enough for the entire Xuanzong sect to cultivate for tens of thousands of years. The thought of the people of the sect using the dragon vein to cultivate in the future was shocking and exciting. Kid, you are investigating the dragon vein? Seeing that Lin Rei ignored him, the dragon race's people seemed to have discovered something. He frowned and said coldly. The dragon vein was something that belonged to him. It was also because of this dragon vein that the founder of the Heaven Yuan sect, the Taoist of the Heaven Yuan sect, sealed it. Now, a human with the strength of an ant came here, and not only did he not take him seriously, he even had designs on the dragon vein. This was something that he couldn't tolerate. Thinking about the reason why he had been sealed for so many years, the anger in his heart couldn't help but burst out. Kid, do you want to die by touching my dragon vein? The dragon race threatened. Sigh. Opening his eyes, a look of helplessness appeared on his face. He looked up at the dragon race and said, Old man, you have been sealed for so many years. It is useless for you to keep these things. In that case, why don't you give them to me? Of course, as long as you give me the dragon vein, I can agree to one of your conditions. No matter what it is, I will agree to it. Ha ha ha, looking at Lin Rei, the dragon race laughed crazily. His voice was loud and clear. If not for the space seal, it would have broken through the sky. It has been hundreds of thousands of years. No one has dared to talk to me like this for hundreds of thousands of years. I didn't expect the first human to be so arrogant. However, although the dragon race was laughing, the coldness in his eyes couldn't be hidden. He locked onto Lin Rei. Kid, if you have the ability, come in with your original body. I can't kill you. He didn't attack. He understood that even if he attacked, he couldn't kill the body in front of him. Since that was the case, what was the point? Humph, if I have to come in just because you asked me to, wouldn't I lose face? Moreover, the more he spoke, the colder his tone became. It was no longer as gentle as before. Do you really think I can't deal with you? You have been sealed by space for so long. Although you have your original aura, your cultivation is only at the great perfection Dao fruit realm. Do you think you can defeat me with your current cultivation? Even if I can, I am still young. Even if I can't kill you now, 2 years. Give me 2 years and I will definitely kill you. Do you believe me? Chapter 12:18. Ignoring the dragons, he turned around and walked into the distance. He wanted to see how big this space was. He was an expert in formations. As a saint-level formation master, even if he couldn't decipher it, he could still decipher it after he raised the grade of the formation. As for the dragons in front of him, he really wanted to subdue them. That way, the strength of the sect would be raised to another level. This way, it would be easier for him to take revenge on Haotian. After all, the Heavenly Court was one of the top forces in this world. If he wanted to take revenge faster, he would have to find more powerful subordinates or form an alliance. Thinking of this, he really wanted to know how Xia Feng was doing. He was sure that Xia Feng was in the Holy World at this moment. However, if he wanted to find Xia Feng, he would have to make the Xuanzong sect famous in the Holy World and let her find him on her own. Lin Rei's departure stunned the dragons. Lin Rei's arrogance had exceeded their limits. "Kid, you, come back. Where are you going?" It had been hundreds of thousands of years, and he finally had someone to talk to. He didn't want to let him go just like that. He did not respond to the people from the dragon clan and continued to walk in another direction. He moved very quickly and soon disappeared from the sight of the people from the dragon clan. The system said, this space can only be set up by a saint-level formation master. If you want to decipher the formation here, you have to raise your formation mastery to 9th grade saint level. Oh. Is that so? Lin Rei was shocked. A saint-level formation master was probably only one level away from Hong Jun. Host, don't talk about doing anything. There is a killing formation in front. In your current state, you can't enter it, so, give up and go back. When you have the strength, you can come back and fulfill your wish. The system reminded him. Lin Rei was speechless. He was unhappy, but he still listened to the system. In his current state, it was impossible for him to decipher the killing formation that the system was talking about. He stopped walking. This space was very big. After such a long time, he still couldn't see the end of it. This was enough to prove that the formation master who set up this space was very powerful. So powerful that it was beyond his imagination. All right. Since you said so, I'll leave. As he spoke, he turned around and retraced his steps. The system, this kid is so obedient this time. How rare. The system was a little stunned. He didn't know Lin Rei's temper completely, but at least he had a good understanding of it. This time, it was completely beyond his imagination. You're back. Lin Rei's figure reappeared in the line of sight of the Dragon Clan's people. How is it? Do you feel that this space is very big? It's so big that you can't see the end. He didn't respond. He simply stared at the dragon race member. After a long time, he suddenly said, "What I said before is still limited. I will give you your freedom, but what?" Someone from the dragon race asked. "I'll give you your freedom. However, you must submit to me within 10,000 years. Once 10,000 years have passed, I will give you complete freedom. At that time, you can go wherever you want. No one will be able to stop you. How is it?" Boom! The shocking dragon might instantly pressed down on Lin Rei. His body sank and his legs bent inexplicably. Under the suppression of the dragon might, he had an impulse to submit. "Humph, that's very true. You're actually vainly trying to make me submit to you. Are you dreaming? Or are you saying that after hundreds of thousands of years, humans have become more and more cannibalistic?" His eyes were full of disdain. In his opinion, Lin Rei was just an ant struggling bitterly. Back then, the founder of Tian Yuan couldn't make me submit. He would rather suppress me. Do you think you're stronger than the founder of Tian Yuan sect? Heh, he turned around and glanced at the dragon race member. He sneered, "I'll give you time to think. 2 years. After 2 years, I will come again. When the time is up, if you haven't made the right decision, then I'm afraid that no one in this world can save you." After saying that, he waved his hand. A formation appeared under Lin Rei's feet. Think about it carefully. After saying that, his body began to fade. However, his voice filled the entire space. Formation? This guy, as an expert from hundreds of thousands of years ago, he still had a discerning eye. The formation just now was a first-grade Saint-grade spatial energy teleportation formation. Of course, it wasn't the kind of formation that needed to send people away. It was a formation that could transfer energy. Take the dragon chi of the dragon vein here for example. If one didn't know this formation and then didn't know that there was an identical formation in the outside world, the dragon chi here would appear on the other side and transfer energy. This kid isn't simple. At this moment, the dragon race member was serious. If he thought that this human was boasting shamelessly before, now that he didn't know about this formation, there might be a day when he could save him. It can't be done. Can this kid really save me? With a strange attitude, he muttered to himself as he looked in the direction Lin Ray left. Phew, in the corner of the Sky Yuan Sect's main peak, Lin Ray, who had his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes. A bright light flashed through his eyes. His condensed consciousness returned to his body and a smile appeared on his face. This trip was worth it. With the support of the dragon chi, it won't be a problem for me to break through to the Saint grade within 2 years. If anyone heard Lin Ray's words, they would think that he was crazy. It was impossible to break through to the Saint grade within 2 years in the Holy World. No matter how talented a person was, it was impossible to break through to the Saint grade from the godly the Arch or Hierarch realm in just 2 years. Are you really planning to rescue that dragon? This sudden question caused Lin Li to be stumped. He was also a little hesitant about this question. The other party was very strong. Before he was strong enough to suppress the other party, he might be in danger if he saved the dragon. However, when he thought of the system's main mission and the time limit, he couldn't think of a better way. He nodded and said, "It's not impossible to save him. We'll talk about it when I have the ability to save him." Alright, let's not talk about this for now. Now that we have the support of the formation, we must get them into the state of cultivation as soon as possible. Moreover, thinking of the promise he made to the woman, he couldn't wait to leave and kill the demonic beast so that he could get what he deserved. Yes, that's what you should do. The system continued, only when your strength increases will you have the ability to develop the clan. Only then will you be able to take revenge and kill Haotian. Okay, got it. He responded indifferently. With a plan in mind, he left in a flash. Chapter 12-19. Xianyuan Imperial Capital, Nine Heavens Shop. After Lin Ray left, the shop's reputation was neither good nor bad. Their monthly profit was over 100 million Saint Realm crystals. Because of the absence of Lin Li and the others, the shop felt like something was missing. Even Lu Qingfeng rarely came to the shop. However, during this period of time, Lin Lingshuan would come by every few days, for no other reason than to see if Lin Li had returned or not. Today, it was a sunny day with no clouds in the sky. Lu Qingfeng, who hadn't appeared for a long time, suddenly appeared in front of the shop. Behind him, Elder Qiong was smiling as he looked at the shop that he hadn't visited for a long time. This time, I finally got my father's approval. This way, I can be on good terms with Lin Ray. Thinking of how he had been arguing with the elders of 10,000 Treasures Sect every day, he felt a headache coming. Young master, let's go in. Let's tell Boss Lin this good news. This way, our 10,000 Treasures Sect will be able to get some benefits as well. This way, our 10,000 Treasures Sect will be able to increase our strength by a lot. Hearing Elder Qiong's words, Lu Qingfeng nodded and walked in. Hello, welcome. Lin Yu had been standing in front of the shop to welcome guests. However, halfway through his words, his gaze landed on Lu Qingfeng's face. When he saw who it was, he was stunned. Young Master Lu, what brings you here? Please come in. After saying that, he gestured for Lu Qingfeng to enter. Okay. Lu Qingfeng nodded and entered the shop. He looked around for Lin Ray and Lin Xian. However, after looking around, he didn't find the people he wanted to meet. He felt a little disappointed. "Young Master Lu, please have some tea." At this moment, Lin Yu's voice sounded again. "Young Master Lu, what do you need? I'll prepare it for you now." Seeing Lin Yu like this, Lu Qingfeng quickly stopped him and said, "I'm here to meet Boss Lin. May I know if you can inform him that I'm here?" That. Lin Yu hesitated. He glanced at the crowd and said indifferently, "Young Master Lu, you're late." "Late? What do you mean?" Lu Qingfeng was stunned. He didn't know what he meant. Maybe he didn't know how to react. "Young Master Lu, my boss left not long ago. I don't know where he went. However, before he left, he said that he wouldn't be back. So, will young Master Lu be able to wait for my boss within 2 years?" "What?" Lu Qingfeng stood up in shock. He had a bad feeling about this. In his mind, he thought back to the words Linley had said before he left. 2 years. Could it be that Boss Lin left to cooperate left? Lu Qingfeng's sect? As soon as this thought appeared in his mind, a sense of regret spread throughout his body. When he thought about how a divine saint-tier weapon had appeared in other sects, he felt even more regretful. "Elder Chiu, what should we do? If Boss Lin really cooperates with the other sects, then wouldn't our sect, nor was there was. His time nor was it nor was there. Indeed, there was no medicine for regret in this world. Since things had come to this point, there was no point in saying more. Elder Cheong, find out where Boss Lin is. Even if you can't stop the cooperation, you should apologize. After all, he gave me a chance and I didn't take it." "Young master, this..." Elder Cheong wanted to object. But he swallowed his words when he saw Lu Qingfeng's cold eyes. In the end, he nodded and said, "Okay. Since young master has decided, I will complete the task." Alas. Lu Qingfeng sighed. He glanced at the shop and left. Lin Rei, who was in the Sky Yuan sect, didn't know what Lu Qingfeng was doing. Of course, even if he knew, he wouldn't go to the Wanbao sect. Even though the Holy Spirit Qi here was much weaker, the Dragon Qi and the Spirit Gathering formation made up for the difference. On a mountain peak not far from the main peak of the Heavenly Yuan sect, a palace appeared in a place shrouded by clouds and mist. The decoration of the palace was different from other places in the Sky Yuan sect. It was luxurious, noble, and magnificent. It didn't fit in with the Sky Yuan sect, as if it was an outsider. "It's finally done." Inside the palace, he finished setting up the last Spirit Gathering formation and let out a long breath. After leaving the main peak, the third elder wanted to arrange a courtyard for them, but Lin Rei didn't like it. After all, their cultivation method was too shocking. Of course, it was more because they didn't want to be disturbed. Thus, when he saw this place, he took a liking to it. It had originally been a barren mountain, but under Linley's control, it had become a place where holy spiritual qi gathered. More importantly, among the 20 Spirit Gathering formations, there is also a spatial energy teleportation formation that covers the entire palace. With the addition of the 2 types of energy, pills, medicinal baths, and his time, it wouldn't be a problem for him to break through in 2 years. Sitting aside and looking at his results, a smile appeared on Lu Qingfeng's face. At this moment, he saw 20 disciples breaking through to the Saint Realm. The 20 of you will cultivate in your own Spirit Gathering formations. I'll give you as many pills and medicinal baths as you want. Prerequisites. At this moment, Lin Rei was extremely solemn. Break through to the Saint Realm within 2 years. So, children, start cultivating. I hope that you won't disappoint me within the next 2 years. We will definitely not disappoint sect leader. Everyone promised in unison. Emicham, I believe in all of you. Looking at the 20 of them, Lin Rei was extremely confident. It wasn't because of them, but because of his own ability. Whoever can achieve a breakthrough within 2 years, I will reward them with a second-grade Saint-grade weapon. Remember, only the top 3 will be able to obtain one. If you want a Saint weapon, do your best. After speaking, Lin Rei didn't waste any more words. He waved his hands, indicating for everyone to begin. After that, he turned and walked out of the palace. All the resources had been given to them. At this moment, it was time for him to complete his own matters. After all, as the sect leader, if he allowed his disciples to overtake him, it wouldn't be something that would give Lin Rei face. Father, what about me? Just as Lin Rei walked out of the palace, Lin Xian'er's voice rang out. You? Honestly speaking, he didn't think about me. After all, he didn't want his daughter to break through using pills. Looking at the aggrieved expression on Xian'er's face, Lin Rei sank into contemplation. After an unknown period of time, Lin Rei regained his senses and spoke, just wait here. As for things like cultivation bases, don't panic. Yes, step by step. Chapter 12:20. But, Lin Xian'er wanted to say something, but before she could open her mouth, Lin Rei's silhouette had already vanished from the heavenly Yuan sect. This time, he had no intention of staying with anyone during his trip to the Eastern Sea, especially Lin Xian'er. Now that he was in the sacred world, who knew how strong the flood dragon was? He might even be an Earth Realm saint. Also, wouldn't he have to watch his daughter suffer along the way? Since that was the case, he might as well stay in the sect and cultivate properly. At the very least, it would be safer. Lin Rei's departure didn't affect the heavenly Yuan sect in the slightest. As for Daoist Tian Xian, he was still doing what he was doing. Ever since he entered seclusion, he had no intention of coming out. The Eastern Sea was located east of the Azure Mystic Empire. The journey there was extremely long, and if one relied on flying, let alone 2 years, even 10 years wouldn't be enough. On the way, Lin Rei found the fastest teleportation array to reach the Eastern Sea. Naturally, the teleportation array couldn't bring him to the Eastern Sea, but it could bring him to the nearest city, Ocean City. The teleportation arrays in the sacred world were all controlled by the city lords of the various cities, and they used them to earn money. If one wanted to use the teleportation array, they could, but the price was 10,000 mid-grade Saint crystals. It was fine, but they didn't have to use it. From the heavenly Yuan sect to Ocean City, there were over 100 cities in between, and this was the shortest distance. There were also cities with teleportation arrays, but because of the teleportation array, Lin Rei ignored them. 121 teleportation arrays. If one didn't have any background, let alone teleportation, just the thought of it was terrifying. Even so, Lin Rei used a month to reach Ocean City. With regards to this, Lin Rei was still quite satisfied. At least it was better than spending 10 years. Ocean City was a place that didn't lose out to the Azure Mystic Empire. It was a place where the Long Eo Empire was taught a lesson. The person in charge was surnamed Long, named Long Yun. His cultivation base was extremely high, and he was at the great circle of the Dao Fruit Realm. He was only a step away from reaching the Earth Realm. And Ocean City was the most prosperous city in the Long Eo Empire. In this city, there were many clans, and the majority of them were second-tier clans. The ones who truly controlled the entire Ocean City were 4 great clans. The Ouyang clan, the Wang clan, the Chui clan, and the most famous Chu clan. Among them, the Chu clan was the leader. The 4 great clans had ruled Ocean City for hundreds of thousands of years. Their background was so rich that no one dared to go against them. In Sea City, the teleportation array in the center of the city suddenly lit up. Then, the light disappeared, and a blurry figure appeared. F***CK, we're finally here. The person inside the formation was none other than Lin Rei from the heavenly Yuan sect. When he thought about all the Saint Realm crystals he had spent during this period of time, his heart ached. For the sake of a flood dragon, he had wasted so much time. Just thinking about it made his heart ache. This person is actually using transmission array, moreover this attire, it seems like he is not a person of our Long-O Empire. That's right. Since he can afford a teleportation array, he must be rich. Shoo, don't talk. Don't let the Ouyang clan hear you. Otherwise, we'll all suffer. The passers-by were very curious about Lin Rei, who appeared in the formation. However, when they saw the people of the Ouyang clan waiting outside the formation, their expressions changed and they dispersed. Phew, he let out a long breath and a smile appeared on his face. Now that he had arrived at Sea City, he was close to the Eastern Sea. When the mission was completed, he would be able to obtain the Saint Realm Crystal Core. Think about it. Lin Rei's heart was filled with excitement. Kid, since you're here, hurry up and come out. Suddenly, a very harmonious voice came from afar. Lin Rei, who was in his fantasy, came back to his senses when he heard this. He raised his head and looked. He saw that outside the formation, there were more than 10 people led by a young man. They were looking at him impatiently. Me? Looking at the unfriendly eyes of the crowd, Lin Rei pointed at himself with uncertainty and asked. Yes, that's right, it's you. The young man nodded and continued, Kid, in my Sea City, if a straight man comes out from this formation, he must pay 500,000 middle-grade Saint Realm crystals to the Ouyang clan. Hurry up, don't dilly-dally. I still have to go to the Chuehua brothel to have some fun. Hurry up. Hearing the young man's impatient voice, Lin Rei's face suddenly turned cold. He had 500,000 middle-grade Saint Realm crystals, but he did not want to pay. He could accept paying for using the teleportation formation, but he still had to pay for exiting the teleportation formation. Moreover, it was 500,000 middle-grade Saint Realm crystals. Are you F*King kidding me? Are you trying to extort me? You F*King think I'm a fool. F*CK. The more he thought about it, the more unhappy Lin Rei was. He took a step forward and arrived in front of the young man. He looked at him with killing intent and said coldly, You are from the Ouyang clan? Lin Rei's speed was too fast. No one at the scene noticed him. Lin Rei's figure appeared in front of the young man. For a moment, the young man felt a little guilty. However, when he remembered that he was from the Ouyang clan, he straightened his back and said, That's right, I'm from the Queen's clan. What's wrong? Hurry up and pay. Lin Rei was speechless. Should he say that the young man was not afraid of death or that he was ignorant? He could have blackmailed anyone, but he had to blackmail him, Lin Rei. Wasn't he tired of living? Shaking his head, Lin Rei's face was filled with helplessness. His killing intent was getting stronger. When facing such a person, Lin Rei only had one thought, and that was to kill him. The prestige of a sage could not be humiliated. The prestige of the Xuanzong sect could not be challenged. Therefore, there was only one way out for the young man. Bang! A muffled sound was heard. A figure was sent flying backward. In mid-air, the young man spat out a mouthful of blood. His face instantly turned pale. Inside his body, his 5 viscera and 6 bowels were in excruciating pain. Even his vitality was quickly drained by this punch. Bang! Bang! The young man was sent flying 100 meters away. He finally straightened his body and fell to the ground. He had fainted. You dare to attack? The young man's subordinates suddenly came back to their senses. They pointed at Lin Rei and glared at him. They had never thought that they would be treated like this in their own territory. Boom! Suddenly, a blood-red flame appeared on the young man who was lying on the ground 100 meters away. It began to burn. Ah! 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 The unconscious young man screamed. He looked at Lin Rei with a ferocious expression. At this moment, he knew what kind of person he had offended. A person who did not care about the Ouyang clan. A person who attacked without any hesitation. Ah! Ah! The screams continued. The passers-by naturally saw it clearly. They were very happy to see Lin Rei do this. However, when they thought of the Ouyang clan's background, some passers-by tried to dissuade Lin Rei. Little brother, you should leave quickly. The Ouyang clan is one of the 4 major clans in Sea City. They are very powerful. Now that you have touched their people, I'm afraid, yes, little brother, you should leave quickly. Otherwise, the consequences will be unimaginable. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people began to dissuade him. Their faces were filled with fear. Their bodies could not help but tremble. It was as if offending the Ouyang clan was a terrible thing. Do you think he can leave? In the face of the crowd's dissuasion, a middle-aged man who seemed to be second only to the young man walked out from the group. He looked at the people who spoke with a gloomy gaze. It was as if he wanted to remember all the people who spoke just now and settle the score with them one by one. Oh. You think I can't leave? Lin Rei admired the middle-aged man's courage. However, what was the use of courage? Without strength, everything was useless. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the middle-aged man's shoulder. He said, what's your name? You are very courageous. I'll give you a chance to say your name. Arrogant, incomparably arrogant. In Sea City, only he, Lin Rei, would dare to treat the Ouyang clan like this. Feeling the intolerable pain on his shoulder, his face turned pale. Cold sweat flowed down his forehead uncontrollably. His heart was filled with fear. The middle-aged man who was arrogant before was terrified now. Although he saw his head being hit, he, who had always wanted to replace him, came out. However, who would have thought that the other party was so powerful? Moreover, he was not afraid of the Ouyang clan. Speak. As he spoke, he exerted more force on the middle-aged man's shoulder. Suddenly, a cracking sound could be heard. The middle-aged man screamed. His face was frighteningly pale and a trace of blood could be seen at the corner of his mouth. Tell me and I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, your ending will be 100 times worse than that person's. Senior, do you believe me? He pointed at the young man who had been burned to ashes and said coldly. He was scared. He was scared. Looking at the leader who had been burned to ashes, he was scared. At this moment, he would rather have a quick death than to end up like that. My name is Ouyang Cheng. I'm a disciple of the Ouyang clan's side branch. Kacha. As soon as he finished speaking, his neck tilted and his entire body went limp in Lin Rei's hand. You, demon, when the remaining people saw that Lin Rei had killed 2 people in a row, how could they have the courage to continue? They turned around and wanted to leave. Don't you think it's a bit late to leave now? As soon as he finished speaking, he waved his hand and the illusory spirit blood fire appeared. It turned into dozens of moonlight and was sent out by Lin Rei. Puff. 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 Miserable screams could be heard in the empty space where the formation was. The onlookers widened their eyes as they saw more than a dozen people turn into flames. They looked at Lin Rei with fear and reverence. In less than a dozen breaths, more than a dozen people turned into ashes and drifted away. Looking at the few people who had warned him, Lin Rei smiled and turned around to leave. The reason why he killed all of them was not because he wanted to be happy. It was because he did not want to cause trouble for those who had warned him. He knew how to repay kindness, even though the other party's reminder didn't have any practical effect. Lin Rei's figure gradually disappeared. The onlookers dispersed. Of course, this matter spread quickly in Sea City and became a topic of discussion. In the east of Sea City, in a luxurious mansion, a middle-aged man looked solemn and murderous. He looked at more than a dozen subordinates standing in the distance and said, "You guys, go and investigate. I want to see who is so reckless as to kill my people in my territory." Previously, the news of more than a dozen people being killed in the formation spread like the wind into the Ouyang family's ears. The person who said that was the current head of the Ouyang family, Ouyang Zhen. Head, the other party can kill people without any hesitation. It means that he has absolute strength. Moreover, according to the report, he only released a kind of flame and those people could not resist at all. I think that the other party, bang. A muffled sound interrupted the person who was talking. Ouyang Zhen's voice suddenly sounded, I don't care about this. Although those people are insignificant to the Ouyang family, that is a meeting of the Ouyang family. Now, my Ouyang family has been slapped in the face. As the head of the Ouyang family, how can I bear it? Go and find him. One day, I'll give you 1 day. If you don't see the person I want to see in 1 day, you know the consequences. When the leader of the group heard this, cold sweat overflowed from his forehead. He did not dare to refute and could only clench his teeth and nod, yes, head. I'll go and find him now. I'll give you a satisfactory answer in 1 day. Go. He waved his hand. He asked them to leave and raised his hand to pinch his forehead. His face was gloomy. The entire Sea City became restless because of Lin Rei's arrival. The Ouyang family sent people to search the entire Sea City. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was wanted, was sitting in the restaurant where guests came to visit. He was admiring the food in Sea City. It's so fragrant. I didn't expect Sea City to have such a good chef. He gnawed on the pork shoulder, his mouth was full of oil. Lin Rei's behavior at this moment was as if he had not eaten for hundreds of years. His behavior was not rude at all. The scene was very satisfactory. In the restaurant, everyone's attention was on Lin Rei. Looking at the way he ate, some people stopped eating and began to talk about Lin Rei. Of course, it was nothing more than some vulgar words. Lin Rei did not care about it at all. He did not even listen to them. In front of Lin Rei, in a corner, a fair-skinned young man with starry eyes never left Lin Rei. He had been paying attention to Lin Rei since the moment Lin Rei started eating. There's actually such a strange person in the world. After saying that, he stood up, took a pot of wine, and slowly walked to Lin Rei under everyone's gaze. He cupped his hands and bowed, saying, Young man, I'm Wang Yuxing. Seeing how unrestrained you are, I wonder if you can sit down and have a drink with me? Lin Rei stopped, took the pork shoulder that was in his mouth, and wiped his mouth with a tissue. He looked at the young man who came suddenly. Vaguely, a faint fragrance entered his nose. This guy, a man like him, is wearing makeup. It's really, damn, don't tell me he has a special fetish and likes me. Suddenly, he thought of an impossible thing and looked at the young man in surprise. The system, host, you're thinking too much. Do you think you're handsome? Nonsense, of course I'm handsome. You're just blind and can't see it. Lin Rei reluctantly admitted. Well, the system has nothing to say about the host's shamelessness. Chapter 12:21. He glanced around and saw a lot of empty seats. Brother, look, there are a lot of empty seats. You don't have to sit here. Besides, as she spoke, a look of disdain flashed across her eyes. She continued, we don't know each other, so it would be awkward for us to be together. So, please. As he spoke, he ignored the person who called himself Wang Yuxing and continued his previous crazy actions. He grabbed the elbow and continued to gnaw on it. You, that bastard, how dare he reject me? Wang Yuxing was furious after being rejected, but he didn't want to stay there any longer. He was rejected by Chu Feng, and he didn't want to stay any longer. He turned around and left. Lin Rei looked at his back and smiled. Little brat. The inn was very quiet. Wang Yuxing's incident was just a small interlude. In the outside world, the Ouyang clan had sent out a large number of people to look for the person who killed them in the formation. The other 3 clans also took action. Of course, they wanted to see the Ouyang clan make a fool of themselves. The 4 clans had been fighting for so many years. Now that they finally had the chance to see the Ouyang clan make a fool of themselves, how could they miss it? The Wang clan, the Chui clan, and the Chu clan all seemed to have some free time today. While the Ouyang clan was making their move, they also made their move. They sent out people from their clans to search the city. The Chu clan was one of the 4 clans in Sea City. After a short while, someone came to report that they had found Lin Rei. He, Chu Zhouying, put down everything he was doing and came to the inn that belonged to the same clan as Lin Rei. But of course, since he was here to watch the show, he couldn't use his real identity. He changed out of his luxurious clothes and put on his own simple clothes. Without bringing any servants with him, he went to a table not too far away from Linli and sat down. The leaders of the Wang clan and Chui clan, Wang Ji and Chui Yu, arrived at the inn one after another. However, when they entered the inn, they fixed their eyes on Chu Zhouying. They narrowed their eyes and walked towards Chu Zhouying calmly. They cupped their fists and sat down. Brother Chu, you are still so leisurely and elegant despite your busy schedule. This is truly, Brother Wang, we're all the same. Let's not talk about each other. Let's just watch the show. As he spoke, the dishes were placed on the table and they began to eat. Ouyang clan, Ouyang Zhen's room. The person who had been sent out earlier had returned. He looked at Ouyang Zhen and clasped his hands. Patriarch, we've found traces of that person. I believe that it won't be long before we bring him back. Oh. Is that so? Hearing these words, the annoyance on his face subsided, and he felt much better. You did a good job. Go and receive your reward after this. Yes, Patriarch. At this moment, Lin Rei had almost finished eating. The dozen or so plates on the table were naturally empty. He smacked his lips and drank the wine in satisfaction. If I could eat this kind of food every day, it would be a happy thing. Of course, it was just a thought. With so many things to do in the future, who would waste time on such a thing? He stood up and patted the dust off his clothes. Then, he was about to leave. Who was the one who killed my Ouyang clan's men outside the formation? Come out now. Suddenly, an angry roar was heard. Everyone in the inn focused their attention on the entrance. At this moment, outside the door, the members of the Ouyang clan had found out where Linli was. They sent 30 of their clan's guards to surround him. The one who spoke was the Ouyang clan's foreign minister, Qian Yue. His cultivation level was unfathomable, and he was also a reputable figure in Sea City. Linli had originally intended to leave, but upon hearing these words, he understood that trouble was coming. When he turned his head and saw Qian Yue, a look of disdain flashed in his eyes. As soon as he saw Qian Yue, Linli was able to see with a single glance his cultivation base. A peak hierarch realm expert might be good for a sect or clan. He might be a formidable opponent in the city, but he was nothing in front of Lin Rei. He ignored Qian Yue and walked to the counter. He waved his hand and 30 middle-grade Saint Realm crystals appeared on the counter. He said, "These should be enough for me to eat." Enough. Enough, enough, enough. The boss said 3 words in a row. He had a bitter smile on his face and cold sweat was dripping down his forehead. Motherf *Ker, why are you still paying at a time like this? Can't you see that they're planning to attack? Looking at Linli, the shopkeeper looked at the Saint crystals Linli had given him and said helplessly to himself. At this moment, everyone in the inn was stunned. No one dared to move because of Qian Yue's presence. However, Lin Rei was the only one who dared to move. So, he naturally became the focus of everyone's attention. Qian Yue's face was extremely gloomy when he saw Lin Rei ignoring him. This bastard, he doesn't put me in his eyes at all. He looked at Lin Rei and killing intent flashed in his eyes. He waved his hand and said, "Go, kill this guy for me." "Yes, Elder Qian." Behind him, his subordinates heard this and 4 of them walked out. They walked towards Lin Rei fiercely. They clenched their fists and stretched their necks. Suddenly, cracking sounds could be heard. It was so soft that it was terrifying. Damn it, if you want to fight, then do it quickly. Why are you still acting tough? Do you think I don't exist? Seeing the 4 people walking towards him, Lin Rei was extremely unhappy. He shook his head helplessly and took a step forward. His figure instantly appeared in the middle of the 4 people. A bunch of idiots who don't know the difference between life and death. Without anyone noticing, in the time it took for a spark to fly off a piece of flint, a palm strike was directed at each of the 4 people, landing on their pill palaces. Peng 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 peng, ah. Ah. Ah, 4 muffled sounds and screams resounded throughout the inn. Only then did everyone realize that there was a guest. What happened just now happened in a flash. Apart from the 3 great families, no one else knew what happened. Qian Yue came back to his senses and looked at Lin Rei in horror. He pointed at Lin Rei with his hand and couldn't help but tremble. This young man's cultivation is probably in the Saint realm. Yes, he's so young and he's already in the Saint realm. I can't believe it. Who is this person? Why did he come to our sea city? Is he really just passing by? Looking at Lin Rei, the 3 family heads began to calculate in their hearts. They recognized Lin Rei's cultivation very much. They didn't want to provoke such a person. After all, no one wanted to provoke a saint, let alone such a young one. Chapter 12:22. You. What did you say you were going to do to me? He stepped over the 4 people who were curled up and screaming on the ground and came to Qian Yue. His eyes were filled with killing intent. His body was trembling. He couldn't say anything else after the word "I" came out. His forehead was covered in cold sweat. He was sure that he was no match for Huang Xiaolong. He was terrified. Even though he was a mid-hierarch and looked very powerful in front of others, he was really scared in front of Lin Rei. He was afraid that he would be killed by Huang Xiaolong if he wasn't careful. His 10,000 years of hard work would go down the drain. Kill me? Oh, right. Aren't you looking for the person who killed your Ouyang clan's people outside the formation? Damn, it can't be. Qian Yue's heart skipped a beat when he heard that. He had a bad premonition. Yes, it's me. My body was outside the formation. What's the name of your Ouyang clan? He asked me for 500,000 middle-grade Saint Realm crystals. He said that your Ouyang clan has always been like this. You said that such a greedy person should be killed. Should I kill him? Qian Yue was sure that the person in front of him was the one he was looking for. His body couldn't help but tremble when he felt Lin Rei's aura. What about me? Let me ask you, should I kill such a person? Lin Rei spoke again. His expression was cold as if he was going to kill someone. The arena was very quiet. Some people didn't even dare to breathe loudly, as though they were afraid that if they breathed too loudly, it would cause Linley to be displeased and bring about a fatal disaster upon themselves. Even the boss, who had been muttering in his heart about Linley, was terrified upon seeing how powerful Linley was. His body shrunk back and hid in a corner as if he was afraid that his thoughts would be seen through. At the scene, only the patriarchs of the 3 great clans were treating this matter as a show. I should be killed. Oh. Should be killed? His eyes were filled with killing intent when he heard the answer. Yes, you should be killed. I think so too. Lin Rei nodded and continued, since they deserve to be killed, then you came here today to avenge those who deserve to be killed. Therefore. The tone of his voice changed, and a murderous aura filled the air. There was a guest coming to visit. Even the Ouyang clan guards outside felt Lin Rei's extremely cold murderous aura, and stood rooted to the spot, unable to move. If they deserve to die, then you all deserve to die for coming here today. Therefore, die. After saying that, a long sword appeared in his hand. He raised his hand and placed the long sword on Qian Yue's neck. He said coldly, "Remember, be a good person in your next life. Don't help the evildoer." Rip. Pata. Without waiting for Qian Yue's reply, the sound of flesh being sliced rang out. In the next instant, Qian Yue's body fell to the ground, rolling far away. Hiss. When such a bloody scene appeared, everyone present couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air, and their expressions changed again. Even the patriarchs of the three great clans felt a chill in their hearts when they saw Lin Rei's cruel methods. At this moment, the three patriarchs had the same thought. This person could only be a friend, not an enemy. Even if they couldn't be friends, they shouldn't provoke him. Otherwise, they might end up like the person in front of them, dying without a complete corpse. Lin Li's sword had shocked the patriarchs of Sea City's three great clans. If Ouyang Zheng was here, he probably would have had the same thought. Unfortunately, he wasn't here, and he had provoked such an existence. The Ouyang clan guards who followed behind them were frightened when they saw their guest elder being killed so easily. They looked at Lin Rei in horror. In their eyes, this person was a devil, a demon. They wanted to leave, but their bodies couldn't move at all. They regretted it. Sigh. There's no other way. Every injustice has its perpetrator, and every debt has its debtor. Since you all provoked me first, there's no need for me to keep you alive. Finished speaking, he raised his long sword. 10,000 swords secret art, 100 swords. Suddenly, the swords in Lin Rei's hand separated from the sword in Lin Rei's hand and floated in front of him. The tips of the swords were aimed at the Ouyang clan's guards. In an instant, the 100 swords appeared. Lin Rei seemed to have transformed into a killing machine, as if he had transformed into a judge. His expression didn't change at all. Prepare yourself. The long sword in his hand slashed forward, and in an instant, the 100 swords floating in the air moved. Poochie, poochie, the sound of flesh being pierced rang out. In the next moment, the people of the Ouyang clan turned into snowmen. One by one, they were pierced by the 100 swords. This was no less than 10,000 arrows piercing through their hearts. The streets were littered with corpses and rivers of blood. How many years had it been? Who would have thought that the Ouyang clan would suffer such a one-sided provocation and oppression? Hiss, on the street, in the inn. Looking at the pile of corpses on the street, they closed their eyes and didn't dare to look anymore. We can't afford to provoke him. Yes, we can't afford to provoke him. That's right. When we return, we will definitely warn our clansmen not to have any conflicts with him. The three clan leaders agreed at the same time. It was the first time in many years that they had such a tacit understanding. Sigh. Smelling the smell of blood in the air, they sighed and said, "We were just passing by." Who would have thought that something like this would happen? It seems like we have to settle this matter before we can go on our way with peace of mind. Yes, Lin Rei had the intention to kill. He was very dissatisfied with the Ouyang clan's actions. Moreover, if the weeds were cut without removing the roots, they would grow again when the spring breeze blew. He didn't like to give his enemies or those who wanted to kill him. Being merciful to the enemy was being cruel to himself. He didn't like to let these people who might threaten his life and the lives of his friends and family live. After saying that, he looked at the three clan leaders who were sitting in the inn and said, "The three of you have watched enough. Can you lead the way for me?" Their eyes widened. Looking at Lin Rei's gaze, the three clan leaders smiled bitterly. They stood up and walked towards Lin Rei. They bowed and said, "I didn't expect that we would be discovered by fellow Daoist. Fellow Daoist, please don't misunderstand. We are here to see, all right, I don't want to know why you are here. I don't want to know. What you need to do now is to lead the way for me. Today, the Ouyang clan must be removed from Sea City." After saying that, he looked at the three clan leaders and continued, "I think you should be able to see the Ouyang clan being removed from Sea City. This, to be honest, they really wanted to. Especially since the Ouyang clan was in control of the teleportation formation. Since a long time ago, the various clans had the intention to eliminate the Ouyang clan. However, they needed to know the strength of the other clan first. They were afraid that both of them would suffer great losses. Thus, they didn't take action until now. Chapter 12:23. In front of everyone, Lin Rei had no intention to hide anything. Everyone was stunned when they heard what he said. The three patriarchs were conflicted, but when they thought about the future of their family and their branch in Sea City, they couldn't resist the desire in their hearts. Chuzhou City's Ing, Chuiyu, Wang Ji, are willing to follow you. The three of them cupped their fists and said. Although they said they were united, each of them had their own plans. Who knows what they were thinking? Of course, Lin Rei didn't care about their little schemes. If that's the case, then lead the way. I still have things to do, I need to hurry. Lin Rei said impatiently. The three patriarchs' lips twitched when they heard this, they felt helpless. Since that's the case, then please. Wang Ji took a step forward and said as he walked away. Shit, this bastard, he got ahead of us. Looking at Wang Ji who was leading the way, Cui and Chu felt a wave of disdain in their hearts. However, they still followed. No one wanted to be at a disadvantage. Xian You's men were destroyed, Ouyang Zhen didn't know about it, even the Ouyang family's disciples who were in contact with him didn't know about it. In their hearts, Xian Yue must have done a good job. A mid-stage ultimate god cultivator was considered one of the strongest in Sea City. Who would have thought that the person they sent out would be defeated by Linli with a single slap? East City, in front of the Ouyang family's gate, Lin Rei arrived under Wang Ji and the other two's lead. He stood still and looked at the luxurious gate, his heart sighed. Wang family. Wang family's patriarch? No, Chu. Chu family's patriarch? Cui family's patriarch? Lin Rei and the others' arrival attracted the attention of the guards at the gate. However, when they looked at them, they were dumbfounded. The three patriarchs of the three great families came together, their faces were filled with hostility. Go, report to your patriarch, tell him, swish. Wang Ji opened his mouth. He originally wanted Ouyang Zheng to welcome them, but who would have thought that halfway through his words, a strange sound would ring out in front of them. The originally tall and straight 6 people were now limp on the ground. On their necks, there was an almost undetectable trace of blood. F***ck, this move, is this the tempo of a direct battle? Wang Ji muttered in his heart. That's too ruthless. Fortunately, he didn't offend my Chu clan. Otherwise, I'm afraid this scene would have played out in my Chu clan. Tisk, tsk, tsk. Ouyang Zhen, you old thief, let's see if you can survive this time. The three of them sighed inwardly. Lin Rei's terrifying and spicy nature had once again refreshed their worldview. He raised his head and looked at the plaque of the Ouyang clan. A look of disdain flashed across his face. He waved the sword in his hand and slashed at the plaque. Crack touch with a flash of sword light, the inscribed board was cut into 2 halves and fell to the ground. He raised his hand and slammed it on the door. The holy spiritual qi was unbearable. Suddenly, the door cracked open. Who dares to be impudent in my Ouyang clan? An explosion sounded from inside the Ouyang clan. Tisk, idiot. Lin Rei didn't intend to hide from the Ouyang clan. He did this to wake them up so that they could come out one by one and be regarded as the souls of the dead under his sword. As expected, more than 100 people came out from the courtyard. When they saw Lin Rei standing at the entrance with a sword in his hand, they were all dumbfounded. F***ck, only one person? A voice sounded. He was looking for someone, but he was a little disappointed that there was only one person. Elder Qian, don't you think you're making a fuss over nothing? You're just one person, yet you asked us to accompany you here. You even brought so many disciples with you. If the family head finds out, we'll be in trouble. Elder Qian said to the middle-aged man beside him. Elder Gu, I can't do anything about it. I just felt that the opponent's cultivation is indeed very high, but... As he spoke, he glanced at Lin Rei. His face was full of disappointment. Looking at him, Lin Rei had an impulse to rush up and kill him. Alright, I say, are you guys done talking? Just when Elder Gu was about to turn around and leave, Lin Rei's voice was transmitted to everyone's ears. I'm here to kill today. So, are you guys going to stop me? He didn't have any mercy towards the people in front of him. Whoever wanted to stop him would have to sacrifice themselves to hell. Brat, do you know where this place is? That's right. Brat, don't look for trouble. Obediently kneel in front of the Ouyang clan for 3 days and today's matter will be considered over. That's right. Brat, hurry up. Your cultivation is not good. Cherish it. One by one, they opened their mouths and spoke to Lin Rei. Their expressions were filled with pity. It seemed like they were giving Lin Rei a clear path. But in reality, they didn't know that when they spoke and didn't retreat, their fates were already sealed. Seeing that they still didn't intend to retreat, Lin Rei smiled, nodded and said with a smile, all right. Since your cultivation doesn't intend to leave, then, you'll all die here. Then, he communicated with the scarlet flame tiger in his body and said, guard the door for me. Kill whoever dares to escape. Roar, suddenly, a roar emerged from Lin Rei's body. Waves of peak hierarch realm aura instantly appeared and suppressed more than 100 people present. Plop. Plop. In the next moment, the weak Ouyang clan's disciples collapsed on the ground under the scarlet flame tiger's aura. Although the hierarch realm's aura was still fine, it was still difficult for them to move. Everyone looked at the sudden roar in shock. Other than shock, they were also puzzled. They didn't understand where the roar came from, but they were sure that it was related to the young man in front of them. Whoosh! Under the gaze of the Ouyang clan's guest elders, a fiery red figure rushed out from Lin Rei's body and landed in front of the door. Roar, a 100-meter-tall scarlet flame tiger suddenly appeared. Its whole body was covered in immortal flames. He glared at the Ouyang clan, breathing out from his nose from time to time. The oppressive aura of his cultivation made everyone feel fearful. Damn, this is a peak hierarch scarlet flame tiger? Wang Ji and the other two naturally saw the scarlet flame tiger, but they were stunned when they saw the species of the scarlet flame tiger. To be honest, they knew about the scarlet flame tiger, but in their knowledge, the scarlet flame tiger was the lowest level demonic beast in the initial stage of cultivation. To put it bluntly, its talent could only reach the golden core realm or nascent soul realm. Even if it ate heavenly treasures, it could not reach the astral projection stage. But now, what the hell is going on? Can anyone tell me what is going on in this world? How can the scarlet flame tiger reach the peak hierarch realm? Can anyone tell me what is going on? Chapter 12:24. All of you deserve to die. A furious roar came from the scarlet flame tiger's mouth. At this moment, in the entire Sea City, whether it was adults, children, or those who were in seclusion, everyone heard the roar of the scarlet flame tiger. The heads of the 3 major clans who were closest to the scarlet flame tiger were awakened by the roar. Looking at the scarlet flame tiger, they couldn't help but admit that this was a scarlet flame tiger, a species of beasts that they knew. What's going on? Looking at the scarlet flame tiger and feeling his body trembling, old Gu was dumbfounded. At this moment, an unprecedented sense of danger surged in his heart. The sense of superiority he had as the guest elder of the Ouyang clan was gone at this moment. What's going on? In the depths of the Ouyang clan, he also heard the roar of the scarlet flame tiger. I don't know. You don't know? Hearing his subordinates report, Yangzhen frowned. The inexplicable uneasiness in his heart grew stronger and stronger. The roar just now was very real, and judging from the sound, it wasn't far from here. Go, check it out for me. The feeling of uneasiness grew stronger and stronger. He vaguely felt that something big was going to happen. Yes, Patriarch. Hearing this, the subordinate's forehead was covered in cold sweat. He nodded and bowed before leaving the room. When the door was closed, he turned his head and was stunned on the spot. Looking at the huge figure in the distance, his face was filled with disbelief. This. What's going on? In the room, Yangzhen frowned and asked when he heard the stuttering voice of his subordinate at the door. Ma. Patriarch, I. Trash, don't you know how to speak properly? He was helpless against the incompetence of his subordinate. Left with no choice, he pushed the door open and walked out. However, when he saw his subordinate at the door who seemed to have been immobilized, he suddenly became furious. I told you to go and check it out. Why are you King fooling around with me? Yangzhen almost roared. Ma. Patriarch. Without turning around, he called out to Yangzhen and raised his hand, pointing at the door of the Yang clan. You're pointing at F***CK. Yangzhen looked up impatiently. In the next moment, he opened his mouth and was stunned on the spot. That's the Scarlet Flame Tiger? After being stunned for a moment, he came back to his senses and asked his subordinate. I think so. She replied uncertainly with a kiss. F***CK, this is too ridiculous. A peak ultimate god? Are you messing with me? Obviously, he couldn't believe that the Scarlet Flame Tiger had suddenly appeared in front of his house. He knew about the Scarlet Flame Tiger. However, he had never seen one of this level. No, strictly speaking, he had never imagined that there would be a Scarlet Flame Tiger of this level. As for the Flame Dragon Beast, perhaps, he might believe that it was possible for it to break through to this level. But for the Scarlet Flame Tiger, he couldn't even imagine it. Inside the Ouyang clan's gate, Lin Rei stared at the group of people in front of him with a deathly gaze. In his eyes, these people were already dead. Shaking his head, he sighed, I gave you a chance previously, but you didn't cherish it. Since that's the case, then, all of you can go to hell. Myriad sword arts, one sword becomes 1,000. Lin Rei raised his hand and raised his sword. Suddenly, thousands of sword shadows formed a sword wall in front of Lin Rei. Slash. He waved his hand and slashed downwards. Suddenly, the sword wall rushed out and turned into thousands of swords, rushing towards the hundreds of Ouyang clan's disciples. Not good, quickly defend. Old Gu and the others didn't have time to be shocked. They revolved their cultivation and turned it into a defensive barrier in front of them. However, due to the pressure from the Scarlet Flame Tiger and Lin Rei, they couldn't use much of their cultivation. Crack. Crack. One shattering sound after another could be heard. The defensive barrier which the 6 guest elders had set up, under Lin Li's powerful attacks, was instantly shattered. Crack, hundreds of Ouyang clan's disciples cried out in pain. Their hoarse voices resounded throughout the Ouyang clan's residence and the street. Hiss, too terrifying, this guy is too terrifying. We didn't make an enemy out of him, otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Yeah, I didn't expect the Ouyang clan to offend such an existence. You still want to say that it's unfortunate or unlucky? The foundation that we have accumulated over so many years has been destroyed by this guy just like that. Wang Ji and the other two sighed. They knew how terrifying Lin Rei was. They also knew that they couldn't afford to offend such a person. In just 10 breaths, the myriad sword art dissipated. What was left were the corpses that were riddled with holes, lying on the ground. Blood flowed like a river. The smell of blood filled the air. A breeze blew past, carrying the smell of blood outside. Asterisk swoosh asterisk swoosh asterisk swoosh asterisk. A dozen figures rushed out from the depths of the Ouyang clan's residence and stopped above Lin Rei. This, the leading old man looked at the scene of blood flowing like a river. He felt a chill down his spine. Even when he was in the depths of the 10,000-year-old ice, he still couldn't feel it. They looked at Lin Rei, who was standing in the pool of blood. There wasn't a single trace of blood on his white robe. His hair was fluttering in the wind. The scene shocked them even more. Old man, I came here today to exterminate your clan. So, call everyone in your Ouyang clan out. It's too troublesome for me to look for each and every one of you. He took a step forward and rose into the air. When he reached the same height as the others, he said with disdain. Kid, the wind is strong, don't bite your tongue. The old man sneered. Even though he was shocked by the other party's ruthlessness, as an elder of the Ouyang clan, he couldn't tolerate the other party boasting shamelessly. Tisk, sigh. Forget it, I'm too lazy to talk nonsense. Since that's the case, let's do it. However, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly and a bloodthirsty look flashed in his eyes. Murderous intent flashed in his eyes as he said coldly, I hope that what you said will come true. Otherwise, the Ouyang clan will be removed from Sea City today. Asterisk swoosh asterisk. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Rei moved. He waved the sword in his hand. There wasn't any fancy sword skill, but his movement skill was at its peak. His figure disappeared in front of everyone. Not good, be alert. The moment Lin Rei disappeared, the old man's expression changed and he reminded the people behind him. Pucci. However, just as the old man finished speaking, he heard a strange sound coming from behind him. He turned around and saw Lin Rei standing there calmly. The sword in his hand was scarlet red and blood was dripping down the blade. Bang! A muffled sound came from below. Everyone looked down and saw that the middle-aged man who had followed them was now a lifeless corpse lying on the ground. This guy, at this moment, the old man didn't dare to underestimate Lin Rei anymore. The scene just now was enough to prove that the other party wasn't just boasting. He was really capable. Chapter 12:25. The massacre has begun. Don't blink, or else, you'll die. Looking at the old man, Lin Rei grinned. His bloodthirsty face was seen by everyone, causing a chill to run down his spine. Quickly retreat, quickly, the old man was shocked and had a bad premonition. The feeling of death flashed in his heart. Subconsciously, he said to everyone and retreated far away. Those who had reached their level of cultivation were the most afraid of death. No one was the same. They had cultivated for tens of thousands of years, even hundreds of thousands of years. Dying here would be a meaningless death. However, the old man spoke too late. Before he could say anything, Lin Rei's figure faded away. Then, a ray of sword light flashed among the group of people. The 10,000 swords art was being executed to perfection by Lin Li. Most likely, even the creator of the 10,000 swords art didn't have such a powerful sword intent as Lin Li. Pucci, blood dyed the space red. Under everyone's display, the sky was dyed red. Apart from the old man, more than a dozen people were turned into thousands of pieces and fell from the sky. You, demon. You're a demon. The old man who retreated far away felt extremely sad when he saw his friends who had fought side by side turn into dust. He looked at Lin Rei and spoke without thinking. In his eyes, Lin Rei was no longer a human. He was a demon that harvested lives. He came from the 9 underworlds. This is just the beginning. Ouyang clan brought this upon themselves. Perhaps, this has nothing to do with you. But who asked the people who blackmailed me to call themselves the Ouyang clan? Moreover, a mid-hierarch called Xian Yue wanted to kill me. Everything was forced upon you by the Ouyang clan. In the end, you brought this upon yourselves. It's not up to you to blame the heavens. There's no need for this clan to exist. Then, he turned around and looked at Ouyang Zhen. A bloodthirsty smile flashed across his face as he said coldly, "You are not bad." Indeed, he had noticed that Ouyang Zhen was not bad. He was a half-step saint. If you don't want the Ouyang family to be destroyed, then come out and fight. Don't hide underground and watch the show. Killing intent flashed in his eyes and disappeared in an instant. He stared at a spot on the ground. His eyes flashed as if he could see through the ages. Fellow Taoist, although my Ouyang clan is in the wrong, but it should be enough to kill so many people. A voice that sounded like an illusion came from all directions. The voice was slightly aged, but it was firm and forceful. Based on his words, one could feel that this person was an expert. Patriarch. When the old man who had retreated 100 meters heard this voice, he prostrated himself in the air and kowtowed. Old ancestor, please come out of seclusion and solve the problem of my Ouyang clan. Patriarch, please come out of secluded meditation. The Ouyang clan is in trouble. Seeing this, the members of the Ouyang clan all dropped to their knees and began to plead. Heh, fellow Taoist, your descendants have already spoken. Do you think it's appropriate for you to continue hiding? Late-stage Tao fruit. You're not bad. You're a worthy opponent. Come out and fight me. After saying that, a long sword soared into the sky. He used the innumerable swords art. The second style was condensed into a sword. Thousands of long sword phantoms appeared and merged above Lin Rei. In the next moment, a long sword with soaring sword intent appeared above Lin Rei's head. It was suspended in the air in horror. The long sword was simple and unadorned. It was 3 meters wide and 8 meters long. It was more appropriate to call it a giant sword than a sword. Fellow Taoist, do you have to do this? The person who was hiding below spoke. His words were full of helplessness as if he was unwilling to fight. There's no other way. Lin Rei shook his head and said, I'm not a person who likes to leave trouble for myself. I don't believe in the divine grade of your Ouyang clan. So, come on. You can choose to continue being a coward. However, your juniors are going to suffer because of your actions. You could have saved them, but you didn't. So, they can only die. Hum. A sword hum was heard from the floating long sword. Sword chi seemed to feel the anger in Lin Rei's heart. It instantly rushed out and rushed towards everyone in the Ouyang clan. Puchi. Puchi. In the next moment, a real massacre began. A massacre without the slightest ability to fight back was staged. Bastard, stop it. Ouyang Zhen, who had been silent all this time, roared. He operated his cultivation and rushed out. In the blink of an eye, he arrived in front of Lin Rei. After the conversation just now, he understood that the thousands of people were probably the ones he sent to investigate and capture. Ouyang Zhen felt the strength of the other party. His clan's disciples were lying in a pool of blood in front of him. Their powerless eyes shocked him. Regret, incomparable regret. If he knew the other party's cultivation was so strong, he wouldn't have sent his subordinates to cause trouble. However, it was too late for regret. There was no medicine for regret in the world. It was useless to regret. The only thing he could do now was to reduce the casualties as much as possible. For this, even if he had to pay with his life, it wouldn't matter. The Ouyang clan was his everything. Brat, do you think that you can stop me? Looking at Ouyang Zhen, Lin Rei joked. Indeed, it was not easy to reach the half-saint realm at such a young age. However, in front of a true saint like him, a half-saint was nothing more than an ant. Say. Senior, the Ouyang clan was in the wrong first. Ouyang Zhen's tone softened. He understood that he wasn't a match for the person before him. If he were to anger the other party because of his words, the final result would be the destruction of the entire Ouyang clan. He understood that he couldn't count on the old ancestor from before. If it wasn't for them causing trouble in the Ouyang clan this time, they wouldn't have known that there was such an old ancestor in the clan. Sigh. Sighing, he looked dispirited and continued, the Ouyang clan is in the wrong. Everything is on me, the head of the clan. Every injustice has its perpetrator and every debt has its debtor. I will take responsibility for this matter. He pointed at the crying people below and continued, they are innocent. Senior, please let them go. For this, I am willing to give you all of the Ouyang clan's assets and my life. Is this possible? He wasn't sure. He didn't understand the other party's temperament. As long as the other party could let the Ouyang clan go, everything would be worth it. Looking at Ouyang Zhen, Lin Rei was slightly moved. It was rare for a clan head to be willing to do this. As the saying goes, when disaster strikes, everyone flies away. When the tree falls, the monkeys scatter. Ouyang Zhen was willing to give up his life for the Ouyang clan. This was extremely rare in the holy world. Host, if you want this system, you should just accept him. A person like him might be useful. Moreover, he is a half-saint. He is breaking through to the saint realm faster than your disciples. Don't you think that he is a talent? Just accept him. You don't lack that little bit of resources anyway. Adding another saint to the sect, why not? Lin Rei was tempted. Indeed, he had the impulse to accept Ouyang Zhen. Although such a person had made a mistake before, he wasn't a bad person. In that case, I will accept him. Chapter 12:26. Lin Rei was speechless. Lin Rei felt a headache coming on when the system made such a decision. The system always felt weird after it changed. However, when he thought that the system wouldn't harm him, he felt relieved. He was also very satisfied with Ouyang Zhen, so, he agreed with the system's suggestion. He nodded and replied, I can consider it, but who knows if he's just acting. His specific nature has yet to be verified. In my Xuanzong sect, you can have no talent for cultivation, but you can't have an impure nature. That's a big taboo. The system rolled its eyes and said, whatever. You're the host anyway. You have the final say. F***ck, now you know I'm the host. Why didn't you say I was the host when you asked me to agree? The system didn't say anything. Lin Rei was helpless. The system was now like a 7 or 8-year-old child. Lin Rei came back to his senses and looked at Ouyang Zhen. He said, I can give you a choice. Then, he raised his hand and a suction force appeared. Below, a child in the arms of a woman in the Ouyang family was grabbed by Lin Rei. Wow. A 3 or 4-year-old boy left his mother and was in the air. How could he not be afraid? Cries rang out and everyone was stunned. Outside the Ouyang family, Wang Ji and the others sighed when they saw Lin Rei acting like this. His ruthlessness towards Lin Rei had reached a new level. As the saying goes, one shouldn't implicate one's wife and children. He didn't even let a child go. One could imagine his character. Looking at the child in Lin Rei's hand, Ouyang Zhen's expression changed. He knew the child. Ouyang Zhen was the name he gave the child. It meant that he hoped the child would be honest for the rest of his life. Senior, he's still a child. Please let him go. Ouyang Zhen pleaded. Sure. Really? Ouyang Zhen was stunned and asked for the truth. Of course. Lin Rei nodded disapprovingly and said, I'll give you the choice just now. As he spoke, the illusory spirit blood fire appeared and wrapped around the child. Of course, the child's body was covered by a layer of Lin Rei's spiritual energy. Otherwise, the illusory spirit blood fire would have roasted him. If you want to live, you have to exchange this child for your life. If the child dies, you live. Second, if you die, the child can live. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone was stunned. Now, they understood Lin Rei's intention. What do you think? Make your own choice. Don't blame me for not telling you that cultivation is not easy. Treasure it. Ouyang hesitated. Indeed, after cultivating for so many years, he really couldn't bear to lose everything in a single move. But when he thought of the child in the flames, he couldn't help but want to save him. He was, after all, a descendant of the Ouyang clan. Not only that, when he was born, the Ouyang clan had already given him a divination to predict his fortune and inauspiciousness. This child was in charge of the Ouyang clan's future, and he possessed peak-grade elemental and wood elemental spiritual roots. If such a child were to grow up, he would surely be a great genius of the Ouyang clan. It wouldn't be a dream for him to become the pillar of the Ouyang clan. He was struggling in his heart. He was afraid of death, but he was even more afraid that the Ouyang clan's future would be ruined. Thinking of this, the fear in Ouyang heart instantly disappeared. Slowly, it was replaced by determination and determination. Raising his head, his resolute gaze landed on Lin Rei's eyes. A smile flashed across his face. At this moment, he had obtained the answer he wanted. I agree. I agree. Kill me and let this child live. Plop. As the head of the Ouyang clan, Ouyang directly knelt on the ground. Senior, I'm willing to exchange my life for this child's life. I beg you, please let him go. When this scene fell into the eyes of the Ouyang clan, their hearts trembled. At this moment, they felt that the head of the Ouyang clan in front of them was somewhat different from before. Everyone was stunned. There were always people like Ouyang, Wang Ji, and the others who had the same cultivation base as Ouyang. Naturally, they heard Ouyang choice. Regarding this, the three of them were stunned on the spot. Obviously, they didn't dare to believe that he would make such a decision. Heavens, is this still the Ouyang I know? Yeah, Ouyang is actually willing to give up his own cultivation base for the sake of the younger generation of the Ouyang clan. Indeed, the Ouyang of the past wouldn't make such a choice, right? Looking at Ouyang, Lin Rei's face revealed a smile. He smiled and said, since I've agreed to it, I naturally keep my word. Clang. He threw a long sword in front of Ouyang and said, come, let me see your sincerity. As long as you do it, I agree to let this child go. At this moment, the child didn't say anything. He looked at Ouyang with a different gaze. Sigh. All right. He reached out and grabbed the long sword. Looking at Ouyang, a smile appeared on his face. He said, Little Zhen, close your eyes. In a moment, you can return to your mother's side. Perhaps because of the child's innocence, Ouyang really closed his eyes. Good boy. Ouyang smiled slightly. He raised his hand and placed the long sword at his throat. He said, I hope Senior will keep his word. After saying that, his shoulder moved his arm and his palm exerted force. He was about to cut his throat and commit suicide with the long sword. Whoosh. Bang. Clang. The long sword fell to the ground. Ouyang opened his eyes in confusion and looked at Lin Rei. He didn't understand what was going on. Was it mental torture? Did he have to be so cruel? Couldn't he be more straightforward? If he wanted to kill him, then kill him. Could he not be so endless? He roared, but his face didn't show any expression. He looked at Lin Rei in shock and said, Senior, what is the meaning of this? Ouyang, who was supposed to die to atone for his sins, didn't die. I've changed my mind. Lin Rei said. His face didn't turn red and his heart didn't skip a beat. He continued, I'll give you another choice. Senior, what you said before wasn't a lie, right? Ouyang was anxious. He was afraid that Lin Rei would return. Without a sound, a slap landed on the back of Ouyang head. He said implicitly, do I look like such an unbearable person? The system said, yes. Not only that, but you've played it to the extreme. Lin Rei was speechless. Then senior means. Yangjin couldn't guess and could only ask for guidance. Acknowledge me as your master. I'll give you benefits you can't imagine. The only condition is that you accept me as your master. Of course, you can refuse. However, it's a pity that I'll let you break through to the fruit of Tao realm in half a year. What? Half a year? Yangjin was shocked. According to his calculations, it would take at least 1,000 years to reach the fruit of Tao realm. He didn't believe that it would only take half a year. It's up to you to believe it or not. However, I'll only give you this one chance. As long as you submit to me, they can live, and they will live very well. How about it? Chapter 12:27. This hesitation and a change in status was difficult for someone like him who had always been in a superior position. Ah! A scream came from below. Yangjin, who was in deep thought, looked down and saw a disciple turning into a bloody mist. I agree. Cold sweat dripped from his forehead as he quickly agreed to Lin Rei's suggestion. He did not dare to hesitate any longer. Every minute he hesitated, more disciples would die. He could not bear it and did not want to see the destruction of the family. That's it. He rolled his eyes at Yangjin and said, "Open up your sea of consciousness." Yes. Yangjin did not dare to resist and opened up his sea of consciousness. After Lin Rei branded his soul, he was relieved. From now on, you belong to me. As for the Ouyang family. As he spoke, he looked down at the Ouyang family and smiled. They will naturally be under my protection. As long as I'm here, you'll be under my protection. No matter who it is, they won't be able to harm you. Of course, all of a sudden, the tone of his voice changed. His gentle tone turned sharp. His gaze locked onto the old ancestor of the Ouyang family and he said, "You are an exception. After all, the people of the Ouyang family don't want to see me protecting those who refuse to save them, right? Yes, this kind of person does not deserve the title of Ouyang family's ancestor." Yes, what kind of person is he? He can't even protect the family's disciples. What a coward. Yes, I don't know how he has the courage to live until now. He is really drunk. After Lin Rei's words, the Ouyang family's ancestor was condemned by the family's disciples. Lin Rei was very satisfied with this. Ha! He sneered and waved at the scarlet flame tiger. "Little tiger, come back. The matter here is settled." Awoo! With a low roar, its body shrunk and walked to Lin Rei's side. It lowered its head and rubbed against Lin Rei's arm. All right, stay outside. Looking at the scarlet flame tiger, Lin Rei quickly pulled his arm away and said helplessly, "I knew that Brother Lei cares about me." After getting the answer it wanted, the scarlet flame tiger grinned and stood to the side without saying anything. In the eyes of the crowd, this scene could be said to be shocking, especially for the scarlet flaming tiger's identity. However, what was even more shocking was how Lin Rei was able to help him break through his essence and reach his current level. Who? Lin Rei ignored everyone's gazes. He heaved a sigh of relief and relaxed a little. Now, the matters here could be said to have been settled. Originally, he just wanted to stay here and rest for a day before leaving. Who would have thought that not only did he leave, but he also inexplicably took in the Ouyang clan. Although the overall strength of the Ouyang family was not bad, it was better than nothing. It was better than nothing. As he thought about this, a smile appeared on his face. Lin Rei didn't know that in the eyes of the crowd, his smile was the ferocious expression of a devil. The passers-by couldn't help but take a step back and look at Lin Rei vigilantly, afraid that he would take their lives if he was unhappy. Yangjin, I've settled the matters here. In a while, settle the family matters and follow me to the East Sea. Treat it as an experience. East Sea? Ouyang Zheng exclaimed, and an imperceptible trace of fear appeared in his eyes. Although it was just a flash, Lin Rei still noticed it. Looking at him, Lin Rei asked curiously, "What's the matter? What happened to the East Sea?" Looking at Lin Rei's eager look, Ouyang Zheng didn't dare to hide anything and said, "Master, an ancient ruin has appeared in the East Sea recently. I heard that it's a Dao integration stage." Oh. Lin Rei's interest was piqued. He was worried about not having any opportunities to improve himself. Now, one appeared. Although he didn't know how dangerous it was, he still wanted to take a look. "Master, you can't go to that place." Just as Linli was about to investigate further, Ouyang Zhen's words caused Linli to raise his head, a puzzled look on his face. "Out of curiosity, if you don't give me a satisfactory answer, I'll do as I see fit." "Master, the East Sea is a place where demonic beasts are eternal. Even the heavenly sages didn't return, especially the creatures in the sea. They are the main characters of the scene there. Cultivators like us can only be hunted. As for the ancient ruin, I heard that it's under the control of Huayun's sect and a few other major sects. If that's the case, I'm afraid you'll be in danger if you go there." Hearing Ouyang Zheng's words, Lin Rei fell into deep thought. Of course, he wasn't afraid, but he was thinking about Huayun's sect and other sections. Although he had been in the holy world for a while, he had only met some small sections. Of course, other than Thousand Treasures sect, they were considered the top forces in the Yellow region. As for Huayun's sect, he had heard of it before. Huayun's sect and Thousand Treasures sect were on par with each other. They were both top forces in the Yellow region. However, because the sect practiced fire attribute cultivation methods, they were considered the top forces in the Yellow region. "Master, if you want something, you can tell me. Although I understand my own strength, we still have a relationship. As long as you say it, I'll do my best to find it for you." He didn't want Linli's soul brand to explode. If Linli were to die and accidentally cause the soul brand to explode, then he would be dead meat. "You'll get it for me?" He looked at Ouyang Zheng with interest. How could he not know what he was thinking? "I heard that there's a flood dragon in the East Sea. I'm here to kill it." Then, he joked, "If you can get the flood dragon for me, I won't go to the East Sea." "Didn't you say that you have a relationship? I think you can do it. I believe in your ability and potential. You can do it." Flood dragon? Ouyang Zheng was dumbfounded. He also knew that there was a flood dragon in the East Sea. However, the flood dragon's cultivation was very strong. It was said that it could break through the Earth Saint realm. Therefore, even if he had a strong relationship, he couldn't catch the flood dragon. Thinking of this, he looked at Lin Rei with a wry smile. Only then did he realize that Lin Rei was looking at him with a joking smile. He realized that he was the one who caused all this trouble. He didn't say anything and continued to stand aside, quietly waiting for Lin Rei's next instructions. Seeing that Ouyang Zheng had calmed down, Lin Rei shook his head speechlessly and continued, "This matter is settled. Hurry up and arrange for them to follow me to the East Sea. If we're lucky this time, we might even encounter the ancient ruins you mentioned. There should be good things in the ruins of the Dao integration realm." Chapter 12:28. Ouyang Zhen didn't want to say anything about Lin Rei's boldness. He understood that since Lin Rei had made up his mind, he couldn't change his mind. Now, the only thing he could do was to follow them. He only hoped that he could find the flood dragon on this trip. As for the ruins of Laozi, they could go to hell. After receiving Lin Rei's order, he turned around and walked down. After Lin Rei's disturbance, the Ouyang clan's overall strength had declined a lot. Now, they were no match for any of the other three clans. However, they believed that with Lin Rei's deterrence, they wouldn't dare to act rashly. If so, Lin Rei would take action. Looking at Ouyang Zhen's departing figure, Lin Rei planned to wait here until Ouyang finished dealing with the clan's affairs and then leave Sea City for the East Sea. However, just as Ouyang's feet touched the ground, spatial fluctuations suddenly appeared in the distance. In addition to him, the cultivation of a half-saint could also be felt. However, they didn't expect that someone else would come. They turned their heads and looked vigilantly in the distance where the spatial fluctuations appeared. They frowned. Spatial fluctuations. It's either a cultivator in the saint realm or a demonic beast comparable to a saint. Yes, indeed, but, the system responded to Lin Rei and continued, why did he suddenly appear here? Judging from his aura and position, this guy should have come here specially. I can feel that his cultivation is at least in the great attainment of the Dao fruit realm. Be careful. Although you are very strong, he might have some tricks up his sleeve. The system reminded him worriedly. Yes, I understand. With that, Lin Rei nodded and communicated with the Chaos Dragon Spear that had been nurturing in the system. He looked ready to fight at any time. Ouyang Xiu, you old thing, hurry up and come out from the Emperor. Otherwise, the Ouyang clan will be wiped out today. Before the person arrived, the voice was heard first. The voice rang in the ears of everyone in Sea City as if the person speaking was right next to them. Ouyang Xiu? Lin Rei was stunned. He didn't know who Ouyang Xiu was, but he wanted to know what was going on with the Ouyang family. How did they provoke so many Sage Realm cultivators? Moreover, was today a disaster for the Ouyang family? How did he know that the two of them would come to the Ouyang family to cause trouble? If Ouyang knew what Lin Rei was thinking, he would probably cry and say, you actually know. Of course, this was impossible. It was impossible for him to know what Lin Rei was thinking. However, Ouyang was really crying at this moment. Tears streamed down his face as he looked up at a certain spot in the sky. His heart was filled with endless sorrow. Motherf *Ker, do you think it's easy for me to be the patriarch? One by one, they all came to my Ouyang clan to make trouble, and, can't you give a better reason for doing so? Ouyang Xiu? Who was Ouyang Xiu? I don't have such a person in the Ouyang clan. He roared in his heart. He didn't say much. The other party's cultivation was very strong. From his voice, he could tell that he wasn't a match for him. Outside the mansion, on the street, Wang Ji and the other two were dumbfounded. Lin Rei's matter had just been resolved. The three of them had planned to leave, but who knew that this would happen again? To be honest, the three brothers still felt sorry for Ouyang. After all, other patriarchs enjoyed all kinds of happiness. When it was his turn, not only did he not enjoy it, but he also had to clean up the mess for his subordinates. Whoosh! Just as everyone was wondering, an old man in a black and white robe appeared in the sky and landed not far in front of Lin Rei. Ouyang Xiu, hurry up and come out. Otherwise, the Ouyang family will be destroyed today. Guan Xian said again. Ouyang was very bitter. As the patriarch of the Ouyang family, perhaps he didn't know how many people there were in the Ouyang family. However, he had never heard of the name Ouyang Xiu in the Ouyang family. He raised his head and looked directly at the old man. He cupped his hands and said, Senior, I'm the current patriarch of the Ouyang family, Ouyang. This junior has never heard of the Ouyang Xiu you're talking about. Did you remember wrongly? Or to be honest, the Ouyang family you're talking about is not the Ouyang Xiu from Sea City? Hearing someone's question, the old man frowned and said with an unkind expression, Ouyang Xiu, Emperor just sensed your aura. Don't hide anymore. It's been 50,000 years. Do you think you can hide forever? Ignoring Ouyang, the old man released his divine sense and covered the entire Ouyang family. However, after probing the Ouyang family, the old man's face turned gloomy. He couldn't find the person he was looking for in his divine sense. Impossible, I clearly sensed that old man Ouyang Xiu's presence. Why isn't he here? Why? As if provoked, the old man released his cultivation and the pressure of a true saint. Within 10,000 miles, everyone who felt the pressure was prostrating on the ground. Even god emperors and reverends were no exception. Only the half-saint family patriarchs remained relaxed. Lin Rei stood proudly in the air. The pressure continued to increase. Some cultivators could still resist it, but how could those with low cultivation and newborns withstand it? Master, please help. The children of the Ouyang family can't take it. Ouyang pleaded when he felt the pressure increasing. Don't worry. I'll keep my word. Lin Fan waved his hand at Ouyang to reassure him. Even if Ouyang didn't ask, Lin Fan would still do it. After all, the Ouyang family was his now. If that was the case, how could he just watch as someone else destroyed it? As he spoke, he released the pressure of a true saint. It instantly covered the entire Ouyang family, saving the people who couldn't withstand the old man's pressure. Thank you, Master. Thank you, Senior Lin. The people of the Ouyang family knelt on the ground and thanked Lin Rei. Although they were afraid of the previous incident, after this incident, they were completely convinced. Lin Rei nodded at the gratitude of the people of the Ouyang family. He turned his head and looked at the old man who was looking at him. His expression turned serious and he said, "Fellow cultivator, I'll protect this family. As for Ouyang Xiu, although I don't know what kind of grudge you have with him, I just want to say that Ouyang Xiu is Ouyang Xiu, and the Ouyang family is the Ouyang family. Fellow cultivator, don't implicate them." Is that so? He didn't know Lin Rei's cultivation level. When he probed just now, Lin Rei was like a fog that he couldn't see through. Oh, right. He seemed to have thought of something and said, "The Ouyang Xiu you mentioned should be underground. Find him and go somewhere else to tremble. I don't want the Ouyang family to be harmed. Otherwise, I'll destroy your Dao foundation, destroy your physical body, and imprison your soul in the 9 underworlds. I'll burn your soul for 1,000,000 years. Believe that I have the ability to do so." As he spoke, he waved his hand. A first-grade sacred array appeared in front of the Ouyang family and enveloped them. Go. Chapter 1229. Slowly, he walked to Ouyang side. With a wave of his hand, a chair appeared. Ignoring everyone else, Lin Li sat down. At some point, a table had appeared, and on the table was a tea set for the interview. In the eyes of the crowd, Lin Rei was extremely arrogant. Especially in the eyes of the sage, Lin Rei's arrogance was off the charts. As a sage, he had his own dignity. He couldn't stand it when someone ignored him. His dignity wouldn't allow it. "Brat, do you think you can protect the Ouyang clan with your strength?" The sage spoke, his words were filled with killing intent. If it was before, he might have asked the entire Ouyang clan to go back because of Ouyang Xiu. But now, after seeing Lin Rei's attitude towards him, the sage changed his mind. He wanted to teach this brat who ignored him a lesson. At the same time, he wanted to tell the world that a sage's dignity couldn't be bullied. Looking at Lin Rei, the sage's aura rose. He circulated his cultivation and raised his hand, slapping towards the Ouyang clan. A palm a few feet long appeared out of nowhere and slapped downward with a tremendous aura. "Master, this," feeling the energy contained in the palm, not to mention the Ouyang clan, even the city walls of the ocean city would be smashed to pieces. The city walls were protected by a formation. Even such a formation couldn't withstand it, not to mention the Ouyang clan. However, Lin Rei was still drinking his tea and watching the show. Ouyang was dumbfounded. "Don't worry." Lin Rei spoke and a cup of tea floated in front of Ouyang. He continued, "Have a cup of tea and watch slowly. Since I promised to protect the Ouyang clan, I won't go back on my words. So, just watch." This, Ouyang hesitated. The huge palm above his head was about to fall. He wasn't in the mood to drink tea. He didn't know where Lin Rei's confidence came from. Without any action, how could he neutralize the power in front of him? However, after experiencing how terrifying Lin Rei was, he didn't dare to disobey. Although he was unwilling, he still grabbed the teacup in front of him and drank the tea in one gulp. Bang! A loud sound reverberated in the ears of the Ouyang clan members, shocking them. Some of the members of the Ouyang clan who had thought that they were going to die suddenly closed their eyes in fear when they saw the gigantic palm approaching them. However, even after waiting for a long time, they still didn't feel any pain. Thus, they opened their eyes and raised their heads to take a look. When the giant palm disappeared, they were completely fine. Even the houses around them showed no signs of collapsing, which shocked everyone. Others might not know, but some of the bolder ones, like Ouyang Zhen and Wang Ji, saw it very clearly. Thinking back to the scene just now, Ouyang Zhen couldn't help but look at Lin Rei, who was drinking tea with a faint smile on his face. He felt even more respect for Lin Rei. What happened? The old man in the air saw that his attack was about to be crushed by the Ouyang family when a bright light flashed. The moment the descending giant palm collided with the bright light, it disappeared. This was not a coincidence. The old man knew very well that although the palm strike earlier appeared simple, it had actually used 80% of his strength. Not to mention that it could directly kill a sage of the same level, but deity realm cultivators could not resist at all. It's you? When the old man's eyes fell on the smiling Lin Rei, he was startled. When he thought back to how Lin Rei waved his hand just now, he was certain that this matter was related to the youth in front of him. Continue. I want to see whether or not this peak Dao fruit cultivator can break through the Ouyang family. Instead of directly responding to the old man, Ouyang Zhen opened his mouth to provoke him. Although he called it a provocation, it wasn't. He really wanted to see whether or not this peak Dao fruit cultivator could crush his array formation. That would prove just how strong the array formation was. Master, this isn't good. Ouyang Zhen spoke up. It was too late to dissuade him, but you actually want to incite him to continue attacking? Big brother, don't do that. The Ouyang family can't afford it. Of course, he only thought this in his heart. If he had said it out loud, he wouldn't have dared. Lin Rei understood Ouyang Zhen's worries. Don't worry. Since I dared to speak up, I have absolute confidence in me. Don't worry. Then, he ignored Ouyang Zhen and spoke to Ouyang Xiu, whose divine sense connection was weak. I will give you 5 minutes to leave the Ouyang family. If you do, I will pretend this never happened. 5 minutes. Once the time is up, if you still refuse to leave, then don't blame me for ignoring the Ouyang family's face and wiping you out. Little brat, I am the ancestor of the Ouyang family. Why should I leave? What's more? As he spoke, his expression was full of disdain. Do you really think you can win against that old man? Heh, so you're not leaving? Lin Rei asked. Yes, I will not leave. Deep underground, tens of thousands of meters below ground, in a secret chamber, an old man sat cross-legged on a bed. He looked up at Lin Rei with disdain. Perhaps he didn't know Lin Rei's methods, or perhaps he thought that the old man's attack was just a probing method. However, he didn't understand that when he decided not to leave, he had already touched the line in Lin Rei's heart. As the saying goes, those who touch the reverse scale will die. Now that the Ouyang family had become a subsidiary family of the Xuanzong sect, that was his reverse scale. Now, Ouyang Xiu had touched his bottom line, his reverse scale. So, he could only die. Good, you are very courageous. Ding. Side quest, kill Ouyang Xiu, intimidate Tian Quanzi, and solve the problem of the Ouyang family. Quest reward, 30 million exchange points, 1 Hongmeng stone, the right to purchase the untainted land X1. F***CK. Lin Rei, who was about to kill the ancestor of the Ouyang family, suddenly remembered the system's prompt in his mind. Lin Rei was stunned. The system said, that's too easy for the host. I didn't expect the system to issue such a task. What a loss. Lin Ray was speechless. Lin Fan rolled his eyes at the system. The system's words made him speechless. However, the system was right. He had already planned to kill the Ouyang family's old ancestor. Now that this mission had appeared, it was a reward, a great reward. Although he didn't know what the Chaos Stone and the right to purchase the untainted land were, the 30 million exchange points were enough to move him. He got up and his lazy aura disappeared. It was replaced by a sharp aura like a sword out of its sheath. Since the task is here, let's move. Shameless. Hey, can you not scold me? Do you feel happy scolding me? Lin Ray was speechless. How did you know? The system was surprised. He didn't say anything. This confrontation with the system was an instant KO. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.